mic is working. Oh, why is my eye pink? There you go. Alright. Hi, Julie. How are you? Now, I have played a little bit of this game before, and I decided I wanted to stream and get a playthrough of it. So, the first, like, hour or so, I'm not, like, going into it blind, but after that, maybe be good. You know, still sick, but, doing better. Yeah, doing a little bit better. Trigger warning.
My name is Sam Walls, and I'm a dead man.
Oh, so do let me know if the game's too loud or if I'm too loud or anything.
Now, if you think that means all that Dracula hooey like hissing, wearing skin-tight leather, and hunting mortals for sport, I wouldn't blame you one bit. That's exactly the sort of thing I did in my younger years with my former gang. And let me tell you, a vampire who's good with a gun can be a real terror. I got lucky, though. I met some kind mortals who saw beyond my fangs. They taught me my letters and showed me how my thinking was keeping me from finding any kind of peace. After they passed on, I roamed America's majestic wilderness for nigh on 90 years, figuring out myself and what it means to be a vampire. And I found revelation. What I realized was, it ain't fangs that make us monsters. It's the self-defeating ways we think. Anywho, as the world started getting smaller, my old vampire gang tracked me down. Them being my kin, I wanted to help them see the world like I did, but they still have the same monster mindset I used to have. Good thing I'm a quick draw. But I got hooked up with this newfangled internet thing and found a vampire who's helping my kin find their way.
Newfangled internet.
A fellow named Andromachos, supposed to be 3,000 years old. He invited me to come out to Europe to learn from him. I figure someone older than time has got to have the answers. I'm going on a trip, I guess. This feels like my opportunity to do some good in the world. I've been lucky, and now it's time to give back. Vampires ain't monsters. Or at least, they don't have to be. And come hell or high water, I'm gonna prove it to them.
This game is fully voice acted, by the way, so I won't be doing a lot of talking, which I guess is good for my throat, but
Well, I think this is the address. Number 27, Clean Flitter Mouse Streeb?
I think it's Kleinflitter Mouse Strass? Okay, that's good. But I'll, of course, be talking through the decision making. Is it just like a follow visual novel where it just plays itself?
Sure is a hell of a lot of ruckus for this time of night. People stay up late here. Wait a minute. These folk are vampires. Better watch myself. Guten Abend, folks. Sprechen Sie English?
Ja, hello, Alta. Are you here to party with us at the hottest club?
I'll ask about the club.
Well, what's so special about this club?
Immernacht is the greatest club aller Zeiten. The owner makes sure everyone has a good time.
If anyone acts without respect, they are banned from the club forever.
Well, that's good.
You are free to do and be whatever you like, as long as you are harming no one.
Und I hear that they are now attracting sexy old cowboys.
Shh, Maxie. He is old enough to be your grandfather.
Oh, come on now. You're just flattering me. I'm only a couple 100 years old.
Bruh.
Oh mein Gott, he is so cute, Reinhard. Can I keep him?
Can I ask about Andromachus?
I'm looking for Andromachus.
You mean the club owner? Ja, that is why we are here.
If you're lucky, he will invite us to the private party at the end of the night.
Well, what happens there?
I think maybe it is too kinky for Americans to hear.
Dress
I
code.
don't think what I'm wearing will fit the dress code.
The cowboy look is total sexy, but you will get a bit sweaty.
I hope we will all get a bit sweaty.
Good thing we run a little on the cold side, huh?
Don't worry, my Liebling. We make each other warm.
Reinhard, stop. Don't scare the American. I want to do that.
Maxi Liebchen, you're so naughty tonight.
No, you are the naughty one.
Oh, I definitely ain't an American no more. I can cut loose. What kind of party is this?
The kind where we dance all night and get sexy.
I feel like this is like a vampire stereotype.
Oh, you're them kind of vampires.
Yeah, them kind of vampires.
Ach so, there are better things to suck than blood, oder?
Although we have to get past the bouncer first. If we do not, I'm thinking our night is ruined.
Oh, wait a sec. There's something about what she just said. I can feel it. It reminds me of one of my revelations about the funny patterns in the way we vampires think. Well, let's see. One type of thinking I noticed I called hot branding. That's when we brand ourselves with names we can't get rid of. There's high noon mind. That's when we treat a situation like it's a do or die showdown. And there's saloon thinking. That's when we act either helpless or invincible, like we've just drunk a pint of moonshine. I can always check my journal if I need examples. I kept all my notes about the funny ways we vampires think in there. I think I know which one of them funny ways they're thinking in, though. Hold on, compadres. You seem like the kind who can make their own fun.
I don't want to have my own fun. Immernacht is the only place to be on Friday night.
I think it's this one.
Amigos, you're putting too much weight on this thing. It's a nightclub, not a high noon showdown. The night's full of possibilities.
Reinhard, I don't know what this means, but I like the way the sexy American talks.
You make us think that maybe it is better we haven't gotten into the club, because we are now meeting you.
Hey, if meeting me makes your night better, I'm glad we met. I really gotta find Andromachus, though.
You have to get past the bouncer. He decides who gets in and who doesn't. And he hasn't looked our way all night.
Maybe I'll have a little word with him. Excuse me, friend. I hear you're the man to talk to around these parts. I'm here to see Andromachus.
Have fun, mate.
Hey, thanks, amigo. You have yourself a fine night, you hear?
Cowboy, what about us?
Hi, how are you? Sure, they can come
Yeah,
on.
sure. They're friends of mine.
Have fun, mate.
Well, come on, you two. We ain't got all night. Yeah! Dang, awful loud in here.
Come on, my liver, dance with us!
Oh, you kids have fun. I'll catch up with you later. Tarnation, I'd rather hear a gopher giving birth than this. I better talk to whoever's slinging drinks in this here saloon. They ought to know where Andromachus is. But pardon me, ma'am.
Well, well, look at you. We get a lot of 80s fashion in here, but not usually the 1880s. What can I get you, cowboy? The special's Red Bull and vodka. You down?
You know, I had that once and didn't really. Ugh. He said, "Yeah, he's a cowboy vampire." Who's just gonna say that unironically?
I never drink Red Bull. I'm actually looking for the owner. He around tonight?
Might be. What do you say your name was?
Sam Walls, begging your pardon.
Yeah, he's great.
Sam Walls, huh? I don't think I know anything about a Sam Walls. After all, I'm just a know-nothing bartender.
From where I'm standing, I see someone with style and confidence, not just a drink machine. Don't go branding yourself like that's all you are.
Don't you go worrying about me, cowboy. The man upstairs warned me you were coming. I was just testing to see if you are who you say you are. Tell you what, let me give you something from our special reserve. I don't think you're looking for booze.
Well, thank you kindly, ma'am. I was wondering where the blood was. I met some vampires outside, so I figured this was a vampire club.
You met some gods, honey. They're here to dance and have fun.
So all these people are mortals?
How do you think the head vampire gets his blood? They can't wait to share it with him. It's a special experience. He's the only real vampire here. Well, him and Bert.
Bert?
You met him already. Bert, shuffle on over here.
I really like her fashion sense.
This one's here to see the big guy. Show him upstairs, okay?
Have fun, mate.
Good luck up there, cowboy. Hope you find what you're looking for.
Oh yeah. The loading screens are kind of hell. I'm just gonna wait them out.
Howdy. It's Sam Walls to see you, sir. The guy who's been sending you all them V-mails.
Yes, I know who you are, Samuel Walls. You have come here because you believe you can help our kin. The question is, are you first able to help yourself?
You know what a therapist needs a therapist.
I don't know that I can help myself, but I'm trying my best.
Then you have already learned the most important thing I can teach. We all need help, Samuel. I am pleased that you have come to receive mine.
Dang, you scared the heck out of me.
You must allow an ancient vampire his games. He will play them regardless. Please, sit down. What an absolute pleasure it is to meet you at last. I found your messages most intriguing.
Afraid there ain't much here in the way of intrigue. I'm just a lonesome cowboy looking for answers.
You know, I receive emails every day from vampires seeking my help. You are the very first to seek my aid in helping others. This alone makes you intriguing.
Well, dang. I think you're going to be sorely disappointed when you get to talking to me. I'm just honored you're giving me the time of night.
I have unlimited time, Samuel. I am pleased to share some of it with you. Our kind can be rather set in their ways. It is inspiring to see someone so young and eager to learn.
Yeah, well, I wasn't much for learning when I was alive. Just making up for lost time, I guess.
It sounds as though you have been handling your own life better than most. I was particularly intrigued by these revelations you had while walking in nature.
Oh yeah, them. Well, I give walking the credit. Nothing sorts my thoughts out better. After a few decades, I started seeing patterns in the way we vampires think.
Can you explain some of these patterns?
I've tried to explain them to other vampires, but it ain't never gone well. I can try, though. See, we tend to assume certain things just because we've been believing them since we were alive. Or we decide the world's against us just because we're hungry or tired or something. And when we start tackling problems that ain't real, we ain't fixing our real problems. That make any kind of sense?
Fascinating, Samuel. These revelations that you had in the woods, mortal psychologists have a term for them. They are called cognitive distortions.
Cognitive whoozy what now?
Cognitive distortions. They are exactly as you described them. I will explain in a moment. Please, tell me about these specific revelations you had.
Let's explain the first one.
Well, I noticed how we stress ourselves out by making everything a battle of do-or-die absolutes. High noon mind, I call it. Like that feeling you get right before a big shootout.
I must confess I have no experience with this feeling. I engaged in mortal combat long before the age of gunpowder. But the sentiment you describe mirrors the words of my old friend Marcus Aurelius. He used to say that the magnitude of life's challenges often turn us into our worst selves.
Well, if your guys' life is a entire world is a cognitive distortion in and of itself, it sounds like you guys need therapy.
You mean Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor?
Of course, his name was Marcus. Marky was a bedroom name.
You mean you and the Emperor were...
It was ancient Rome. Penetration was similar to a handshake.
What?
My apologies. I somehow forgot you were American. But let us discuss this high noon mine.
No, you need both. You need both.
I believe we can broaden your definition. Mortal psychologists call this phenomenon of binary thought polarized thinking, but I like to call it Nosferatu thinking.
My therapy's doom eternal, gotta go by God. I don't think that'll help as much as you think it will. But at least it'll be fun. Also, fun fact, this cognitive distortion is the one that I deal with the most.
Nosferatu thinking?
It means you are thinking in black and white.
I get it. That's pretty funny.
I believe it encompasses the breadth of the distortion. One is not flatly weak or strong, good or evil, smart or stupid, a success or a failure. The truth is far more complex and colorful. Not every high noon gunfight ends in oblivion, correct?
Yeah, that's true. Getting shot still ain't fun, but it ain't the end neither.
A perfect example, Samuel. Now, try to catch me using Nosferatu thinking. I will give you a series of statements, and one of them will contain Nosferatu thinking. I will repeat them if you miss it. If I do not drink blood, I will surely die. Death eventually comes for us all. Mortals will always fear our kind.
There it is.
That's Nosferatu thinking right there. I've met mortals who knew who I was and weren't scared.
Very good, Samuel. And even if you hadn't, to say mortals will always fear us ends any hope that they might not. Always is such a terminal word, is it not? Would you like to discuss more of your revelations with me?
Next one, I guess.
I realize that as vampires, we can get the feeling of the power that comes with immortality and strength, but then we get hopeless and aimless over time. It's kind of like the fella you see in the saloon at the bottom of a bottle of whiskey. Either he thinks he can fight everyone, or he's crying into them last drops because he thinks life's hopeless. It's saloon thinking. Two extremes that probably ain't true.
A fascinating observation, Samuel. Your saloon thinking was described in my time as the battle between hubris and nemesis, the twin excesses of arrogance and self-pity.
Also, I am still sick, but I am feeling a little bit better.
Oh man, it make me wish I'd gotten some schooling. Maybe I would have figured this stuff out earlier.
Oh, hopefully I sound a little bit better, sort of like... Hi, I'm super nasally.
You live forever, my friend. There is no rush. What you have identified is a phenomenon where individuals perceive either an illusion of control or a lack of control.
You didn't even know? Well, well, that's a good sign. I don't sound super sick then. Yeah, I've had, like, bronchitis for, like, a little over a month. And I'm just started to fully get over anything. I still have, like, a little bit of cough, but it's not nearly as bad.
Mortal psychologists call this phenomenon you have described a control fallacy. Rarely do we have complete power over our situations or no power at all. But we create this illusion that stops us from attempting to change our perceived situations.
Yeah, you're right about that. I used to think I'd never get away from my gang, and maybe that's what made me stick with them for so long.
Yes, you see how cognitive distortions keep us from facing reality, whatever that reality may be. Of course, I am so old and powerful that I am always in control.
You're testing me, ain't you? That's a control fallacy right there.
Well done, Samuel. I am indeed very powerful, but the cosmos holds no awareness of Andromachos. Of course, as you expertly pointed out with your analogy about the man at the bottom of a whiskey bottle, a control fallacy can be positive or negative. Listen to my next few statements and try to find a control fallacy. Simply let me continue if you do not detect one. The sun will eventually burn out. I will roam a cold, dead earth, and there is little I can do about it. My kitty cat died. I shall be lonely forever.
I'm sorry about your sweet kitty, but you can always pick up a new one. Or there's lots of them just waiting for a loving home, so you don't need to be lonely.
It was just an example, Samuel. Well spotted. But I do speak from experience. I felt this way once when a pharaoh I was dating had our cat mummified. I went into a murderous depression that nearly decimated the continent.
Oh,
but I had the power to help myself all along by adopting a new friend in need of a home.
Oh, dang, don't let me get on your bad side.
I doubt you shall see it, Samuel. Did you have more revelations to tell me about?
Last one.
See, I used to be in a gang. They were my whole existence. If you asked me who I was, I would have said, I'm a murdering bastard. Once I got away, I realized how small-minded that was. I was Sam before I was a murdering bastard. But that's how I was choosing to brand myself. My old gang's still around, and they're still branding themselves like that. They can't see themselves as anything but killers.
Do you mean, Valhalla? Well, the game sounds this way because it's a game about therapy. It's supposed to help teach you what cognitive distortions are in a fun little vampire package.
Very astute, Samuel. I favor the clinical term, however, which is labeling. You correctly discovered that labeling is a reductive act. When we call ourselves names, even if we find them accurate, we create prophecies we are doomed to fulfill.
In fact, if you look at the store page for this game on Steam, they'll say that this game is written in collaboration with actual certified therapists as well.
For millennia, I thought of myself as a killer. It was not untrue that killing was how I made my way in the world. I was an unstoppable warrior and assassin.
Mm-hmm.
But with this label, I limited myself for ages. I did not only kill people, I also killed potential aspirations I might have had.
Yeah, it does.
See whether you can catch me doing some labeling in my next few statements. I am so old, I am ancient. Call me whatever you like, but don't call me late for dinner. How shall I describe myself? Yes, I am a mass murderer.
Well, that's about as clear a labeling as it gets. Yeah, we vampires tend to do a lot of killing, but reducing ourselves to killers ain't doing us any favors.
Excellent, Samuel. You are correct. Labels can be cages that we lock ourselves in. I was a mere murderer for most of my existence because that is how I labeled myself.
Yeah, I did the same thing. Sam Walls, the murderer, reprobate, and good for nothing.
Those are not how I would describe the Sam Walls I see before me. Did you have more revelations to tell me about?
I think that's all of them. Or at least the ones that were the most obvious to me.
I will say, oh jeez. As I say, I will say there's like one major glitch with this game that you would have to deal with if you bought it, and that is that the loading screens in between scenes they get really, really laggy every single time. So every time this game's going to switch between scenes, it's going to lag my model out and my OBS out for a split second, so you might see like it pausing on like a still frame or something for a little bit until it loads in. I think you'll still be able to hear audio.
That you recognize the concept of cognitive distortions at all is most impressive, Samuel. What took me nearly 3 millennia to understand took you merely 2 centuries.
Oh, come on, you're just flattering me. I'm just a dope stumbling his way through one life.
Are you now? Tell me, Samuel, what kind of cognitive distortion are you exhibiting when you call yourself a dope?
Labeling?
Yeah, I'm doing some labeling. I gotta watch myself, huh?
As long as we retain any humanity, we will have cognitive distortions. What we are aiming for is not to become perfect beings, but to understand and accept ourselves. As long as we can recognize cognitive distortions, we can address our real challenges. One cannot drink blood from a straw man, after all.
Huh. I ain't never heard that one before, but I like it.
If it helps solidify the concept in your mind, then I am well satisfied. I know you came to learn from me, so I will do my best to honor your good intentions. Let us ensure that you understand the concepts of labeling, control fallacies, and Nosferatu thinking. I will give you a series of statements, and each one will contain a cognitive distortion for you to identify. I will begin. If I invite over my vampire friends, I know I'm going to have to deal with guano all over the place when they turn into bats at the end of the night.
Well, that there's a control fallacy, sir. You're acting like you've got no control, but you could lay down some ground rules for guests, or some newspaper.
Or express concern to my friends that they have not been toilet trained. Very good, Samuel. Let me try another. I am Andromachus, the ancient darkness, the scourge of the Mediterranean, the mortal's bane.
Well, that's definitely some intense labeling. Those are some hard names to get over.
You are not wrong. Those names followed me for millennia. It was most stifling. Let me try another then. If my club's revenues do not significantly increase, I will end up living on the street.
That there's got to be Nosferatu thinking. There's a huge space between making a ton of profit and living on the street.
Indeed, you are correct. I run my club at a considerable loss, but 3,000 years of banking interest means that money is not really an object to me anyway. Samuel, now I am not only intrigued by you, but also impressed. I would very much like to teach you my ways, but I must demand something of you first.
Anything. I'm here to learn.
You must receive therapy yourself. I will not have you seeing clients without a commitment to your own mental health.
Oh, now, hold on just a minute. I don't know that I need therapy. I'm feeling pretty good about myself these days.
Samuel, we all need therapy to live in this world. You have been speaking in cognitive distortions since the moment you walked into my office.
I have. I didn't even notice.
They are most insidious, but I am here to help you identify and challenge them. You have walked alone for too long, Samuel. Allow me to share my experience with you.
Well, all right, if you say so. I appreciate your taking the time to work on this, old cowpoke.
We have all the time in the world, Samuel. But for now, you must be eager for something fresh. Please, dance, drink your fill. We will begin tomorrow.
Okay, then. Well, sir, it's been an honor.
You don't have to call me sir, you know.
All right, then, Andromachos.
Andromachos.
Hey, Andromachos.
Just call me Andy.
All right, Andy. I'll see you tomorrow, then.
Oh, here we go.
Dang, look at all them mortals, sweating, blood pumping. I am thirsty.
Yeah.
There ain't no power on this earth that'll get me on a dance floor. Maybe I'll see if the bartender's got anything for me.
Can I go and save? There you go. That way, if it crashes during a loading screen, I don't have to worry about that as much.
If it isn't Clint Eastwood again. How'd it go, cowboy?
Seems I'll be sticking around. Guess I better get used to things around here.
Good to hear. About time someone helped Andy with his work. Seems you vampires have a lot of problems to fix. Name's Crimson, by the way.
Fine meeting you, Crimson. How do you know so much about what Andy's doing?
Pillow talk. I'm his blood partner.
No shit. How's a mortal get hooked up with an ancient vampire?
I'm a rock climber. I stumbled into one of his lairs in Madagascar, found a cave while climbing a mountain, and there he was, naked in a hot tub.
Dang. Must have been a sight.
You ain't kidding,
Jeez.
cowboy. Didn't expect a luxury apartment with a gorgeous naked vampire inside of a mountain. We hit it off, and he asked me to come back here with him. I like an adventure, so I said, what the hell? I'll date the gorgeous Dracula. But what are you doing talking to me, cowboy? The blood's running hot on the dance floor, and these kids don't mind a little biting.
Ain't no way I'm dancing. There's gotta be a better way to get something fresh to drink.
Reinhard, look. It's the sexy old guy again.
You should buy us a drink, old guy. You'll probably get lucky. Actually, you will definitely get lucky.
Well, pleasures of the flesh ain't exactly what I'm after tonight.
That's because you haven't experienced these pleasures with us yet. Buy us a drink and you will discover great satisfaction by us.
Okay. No.
I ain't buying you a drink. You ain't exactly my type.
Oh, we don't want to marry you. We just want to have fun with you.
You kids are too much.
No.
I ain't buying you a drink. All I got are good old-fashioned dollars.
I like American money. All we have on our money are buildings. You have all the sexy old men.
All right, I'll buy it. Which of them old men are sexy?
I like Hamilton. His posture is just so
Okay.
powerful.
There is a dollar coin that has Eisenhower's face on it.
Oh, you are right. Eisenhower is, how do you Americans say, a snack?
You know, when I look at my dollar bills, I don't think of how the men on it are hot, personally.
I get it. You like older men. I ain't buying you a drink. I think I'd be insulting your economic status.
Mein Lieber, don't worry about us. We just like to feel special. We have lucrative jobs in IT.
Oh, yeah? Well, maybe you can help me. See, my printer died again. Getting real tired of these things.
Oh, please, we are here to party. But get a laser printer.
Well, thanks for the tip. That ink seems to be more valuable than blood. I ain't buying you a drink. This stuff's terrible for it.
Are you making a joke? We are at a bar.
It's okay. He's just trying to be protective. Aren't you, Opa?
You know, I think the drinks here ain't strong enough for you two. Well, these kids just ain't gonna leave me alone.
Stop teasing the cowboy, Kinder. They're just messing with you. Drinks are free here.
Dang, really? Ain't never been to a saloon with free hooch.
Call it a drink exchange.
Huh. So, everyone here knows they might be sharing blood?
Only as long as there's consent. We like to create a safe environment here. Why don't you take Reinhard and Maxie here back to the kink room?
The kink room.
Wait, kink room?
Mm-hmm. You're not in Kansas anymore, cowboy. We are not afraid of sex here.
No actual sex scenes in this game, by the way. We don't have to worry about that.
I'm from Missouri, but point taken.
We don't have to bring out any censors.
Nobody has to do anything they don't want to do in there. Just have fun and drink your fill, handsome. I'm sure I'll be seeing plenty of you. Maxie, Reinhard, this is one of our special customers.
Ach so, ein Vampir. I'm thinking we are all getting lucky then.
My neck throbs with anticipation.
Ugh.
Dang. Guess I'm going to a kink room then. Thanks, Crimson.
I knew a man who wore this much leather couldn't be boring.
Yeah, well, you got me pegged.
Is that what we are doing now? Give me the document and I will sign my...
Well, I really ain't in Missouri no more. Look, I'm more into Biden.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, your teeth look perfect. Are you going to bite me with those?
That's the plan. Who's going first?
Oh, me.
Well, step right on up.
Oh, das hat sich gut angefühlt.
I definitely know what that means.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Is it my turn yet?
Sure thing. Come on over.
Oh, Reinhard. So hot when vampire.
Me too, Maxie. I feel as though I have set up a mail server.
Reinhard, mein Sucke Fledermaus. Ich bin so müde, sexy zu sein.
I will get us a taxicab, Liebchen. Und du, Cowboy? Next time we will talk about that thing you mentioned earlier.
My printer?
Yeah, sure thing, fella. You can help me with my new laser printer. Now that I've had something to drink, I should probably get to my coffin.
I like how he's
Wait a
so
moment. I see you got your fill. Are you heading
not
out?
bothered by this.
Yeah, I figure I could use some shut-eye. I locked up my coffin over at the storage center.
Storage center. Please, you can use my guest coffin. I insist. You must be well rested for the challenges ahead.
Guess I got a big night tomorrow, huh? I should get a good day's sleep.
Wonderful. Please, follow me.
Well, dang. This is mighty plush. Guess it's one of them smart coffins. Let's see what's on TV. Hey, I remember this movie. We were so proud to finally get some representation. Not sure I should stay up watching movies, though. Well, ain't much else to do in here. I think it's about time I hit the hay. Hope I'm cut out for all this.
Samuel, good evening. I hope you slept well.
Like the dead, as they say.
I was hoping to save you some breakfast, but I've already sent them on their way.
Oh, that's all right. I'm still pretty full from last night. Them goth types were practically throwing themselves at me.
I am not surprised. Perhaps I should be concerned that some of my guests will follow you home.
Well, gosh, if I still had mortal circulation, I'd be blushing.
Why are you so embarrassed, Samuel?
Ah, hell. Guess we should just save it for therapy, huh? We gonna get started now?
If you like.
Why not? I'm eager to get going. Let loose, Doc.
Very well. Let's start with the first question any therapist asks then. What brought you to me? Why is becoming a therapist so important to you?
Well, gosh, I remember what it was like. Being all angry, hungry, and scared all the time.
No, that's a fucking
That
mood.
ain't no way to live.
Angry, hungry, scared. That's like me every time I wake up from a nightmare.
When I see vampires acting the way I used to, I just need to show them there's more to unlife.
And why is that up to you?
You, of all people, know how lost our kind can be. Preying on the weak, dating mortal high schoolers. I've got to make them see their potential. That's what I'm here for. I know it.
That is a lot of responsibility to place on yourself.
You got a funny look in your eye. Am I doing one of them distortion things?
You are most perceptive. Yes. Perhaps you can tell
control
me what it
policy?
is. When you say you are here to make vampires see the world differently, in what way are you distorting reality?
Well, I guess that's a control fallacy, right? I can't assume I'll be able to help other vampires the way I was helped.
Very good, Samuel. Control fallacies are hard to avoid when one feels strongly about something. Your fate is not to transform every vampire you ever meet, even those who are your clients. You will do what you can do, and that is enough. But I am eager to learn how you develop this desire to help our kin find a different way of thinking.
Well, like I told you when I first V-mailed you, I was a real nasty son of a bitch when I first became a vampire. When I look back and see what a no-account piece of shit I was, I ain't nothing but embarrassed. It all seems pretty stupid to me now. Here we are living forever and all we can do is kill? That's the dumbest thing I ever did here.
I am going to stop you for a moment. Stupid, no-account piece of shit, nasty son of a bitch, dumbest thing. Do you hear the way you are talking about yourself?
With respect, sir, I earned all them names. I killed women and children. Half the ghost towns out west are my doing. I didn't think of nobody but myself.
Ouch.
Pretend you are my therapist. If I sat here and called myself a no-account piece of shit, what would you tell me?
Labeling.
I'd say you were doing some labeling. And I guess I'd tell you to look at yourself a little more kindly.
Extend the same compassion to yourself then, Samuel. How are you to move on from being a nasty son of a bitch if you are labeling yourself? If you wish to be a guide to other vampires, you must start with compassion for them and for yourself. So, now that you've gotten all that horrible name-calling out of the way, please tell me, How did you find your sense of purpose?
Well, I was on the run, you see. The Wild West was ending, and the Pinkertons were starting to get the better of my gang. I went into hiding and found a strange group of folks out in the country. They knew I was an outlaw right away, but they didn't judge me for it. They didn't even care that I was a vampire. They welcomed me like a friend, even shared their blood with me. They taught me how to appreciate the beauty of the night, and I started seeing things I'd never noticed before. They taught me my letters, philosophy, and how to question things instead of being scared of them. I think about them every day of my own life. They somehow freed themselves of all the judgments of the time and were better off for it.
These must have been the 19th century American transcendentalists, yes?
Yes, sir. I'm glad I died when I did, because their like just don't exist no more. Once my community died out, I started walking. That was something else they taught me how to do. There ain't nothing like having a walk and a think. I walked in nature for about 90 years and just took in all the grace and beauty of my country. I guess I was kind of selfish, though. I should have been helping other vampires the way the Transcendentalists helped me.
Why?
Why waste 90 years walking when I should have been helping others? Seems pretty obvious to me. I could have done a lot of good in that time.
But your should turns that which you could find fulfilling into a duty. You create an extrinsic motivator. Should statements are another cognitive distortion, something created by your own mind. Nature asks almost nothing of you. Even if your should comes from a place of good, it creates undue pressure. And what do we do once we are pressured? We resent the shoulds. We procrastinate. And as you know, we have a lot of time to procrastinate.
You got that right. Why do today what you could do next century?
Exactly. Should statements remove the intrinsic joy from that which you find fulfilling?
Hold on, though. Ain't there some things we really should do?
Of course, there are things we must do. But nature herself
I mean,
tells
that's
us
kind
what
of the
they
point.
are. We invent the rest. Here, let me give you an exercise.
How do you think I feel when I myself suffer a lot from black and white thinking and labeling? Everyone suffers from these cognitive distortions. Everyone does, but it's, you know, it's interesting to point them out, especially in like a game format. Especially when there's a lot of funny stuff in the game as well.
Listen closely. See whether you can find the should statement that is a distortion. I should go to the vampire dentist. You know what they say. If you have bad fangs, you get bad blood. I should drink blood today. I should take my blood partner Crimson out on a date.
Saying you should take Crimson out on a date is a should statement. You've turned something you want to do into something you have to do.
That's right, Samuel. You know, I couldn't be more pleased with you. Your time in nature was clearly well spent.
Well, thanks, I suppose. But if you don't mind my saying so, I hope you're treating that mortal lady right.
Thank you. Please, ask her yourself. I imagine she would share her blood with you. You look like her type.
What?
Hold on. I've only been in Europe for a couple of days. I ain't gonna go after my teacher's girlfriend.
She does what she wishes, and that is why I chose her as my blood partner. Samuel, even if it beats no longer, you have a good heart. I think you will be an excellent therapist.
I mean, I don't think it's bad to realize that you're doing some things that you shouldn't, right? Well, I guess not shouldn't, but like that's not very good for you, I guess.
So far, that good heart of mine hasn't amounted to much, but I'm willing to give it my best shot.
You are uncomfortable with praise, aren't you, Samuel? Every time I say something positive, you find a way to negate it.
I just don't think I should be doing any bragging. I spent my first 50 years killing. I spent the next 90 walking in the woods. I've tried to walk a better path since then, but I ain't no saint, Auntie.
I did not say you were. Having met several so-called saints, I can attest that none of them were either. I understand your discomfort, Samuel. I, too, have done terrible things that I cannot erase. But is erasing the good I have done worthwhile?
Well, I guess when you put it like that, it sounds kind of silly.
It's another cognitive distortion. one that mortal psychologists call disqualifying the positive. I understand that the actions of your past are difficult to bear, but what we are here to do is accept reality, with both its positive and negative aspects. I am not saying that you should disqualify your negative actions, but merely note when you disqualify the positive ones. Let us try an exercise. See whether you can challenge me when I disqualify my positive deeds. I am Andromachos, one of the most powerful vampires alive. Before I became the vampire I am now, I did exceptionally terrible things. I have defiled the innocent. I have killed countless people. The good I now do pales in comparison to the evil I have done.
That's the one. You're literally disqualifying the positive by comparing it to the evil stuff you've done.
Well done, Samuel. I believe the recognition of this distortion will serve you well when you start to see clients tomorrow.
Whoa, tomorrow? I only just started learning these here cognitive distortion things.
It's okay, we don't need a license to be a therapist. We'll just do it.
I will, of course, be with you. You needn't worry. I can sense your instincts and will help you.
But tomorrow, I just don't feel ready yet.
My friend, we are never truly ready. But if it would ease your concerns, we can practice with further examples. Would that be helpful to you?
No, I think I'm good.
I think I'm good.
All right, Samuel. You must be hungry now. I suggest you get a liter inside you. We have a big night tomorrow.
How much is a liter?
Just get enough to drink, Samuel. We will not be able to work if you are hungry or tired. Now, please excuse me. I do have a date with Crimson tonight. I suspect I shall not return until nearly morning.
Oh, yeah, of course. I hope you have a nice night out, Mr. Andy.
You as well, Samuel. Rest in peace. Ah, Samuel, glad to see you are awake. Your first client is on his way.
Okay.
What, already? Look, Mr. Andy, sir, are you sure I'm ready for this? These are people's brains I'm messing with.
Fear not, my friend. You are a powerful vampire in your own right. To be so young and have so much empathy is quite a gift. All you need to do is listen, and I know the truth will reveal itself to you.
Shucks, wish I had your confidence.
Well, to a limited extent, I can see the future. If you are about to misinterpret a client's distortions, I will set you back on the right path.
You can see the future?
It's not that impressive, really. You start to see the patterns after 1,000 years or so.
Well, dang. If seeing the future ain't impressive, that's gotta be a distortion. Disqualifying the positive, it's gotta be.
You barely require my aid as it is. If you need guidance, I will provide it to you telepathically. Don't think about it too much. When you are 3,000, such things will cease to impress you. Let us look at your first client's case file.
Dr. Drain, huh?
Okay.
You ain't got no first name?
Name, Dr. Drain, age 430, gender male, origin English. Okay, Dr. Drain is a class of 1614 graduate of the Royal College of Physicians. Has been studying the nature of blood for the last several centuries. Became a vampire after a post-mortem blood transfusion experiment. Now runs a global pharmaceutical research company. He's not concerned that he has developed an addiction to a drug of his own formulation. Ah. Suggestion: detected strong irritability on the phone, investigate Drain's drinking and sleeping habits.
Many vampires go by one name. Families and titles seem to become more abstract after a certain age.
Huh. So is it funny that he kept the title?
Indeed. You catch on quickly, despite your habit of disqualifying the positive. I will let you work now. I shall be meditating in my coffin, but I will sense when you need my help.
But
Samuel, I know you can handle this. Be yourself, and all will be well.
Satan bless it all, I hate flying!
So in the game it was explained that somebody, a nice family, after he became a vampire, taught him how to read and write. Like, way after he became a vampire, why not? He was not raised while he was alive to learn those things. But he can do that now.
Hey there. God's blood, what on earth are you? My name's Sam. I'm the new therapist. Make yourself comfortable, Dr. Drain. And American as well. Good God. It's not enough for you lot to take over the world of the living. Even the halls of the dead aren't safe from you.
What's wrong with being an American, huh?
Oh well. I suppose your lot are all into this touchy-feely stuff, aren't you?
Hey.
And ignorance, even American ignorance, is bliss, I suppose. Oh, sweet ignorance, how I do wish I knew.
God, yeah. That would suck.
Damn it, how am I gonna work with this fella? I gotta ask Annie.
Are you alright, Samuel?
You gave me this fella as my first client?
Why not? He is clearly hiding very little about his state of mind.
How am I supposed to help him when he already sees me as the bad guy?
Use your instincts, Samuel. Think about how you have felt in your darkest hours. What does this poor vampire want?
He wants to complain. That's all he's been doing.
I think he just wants to complain.
Perceptive, Samuel. He can hardly stop himself, can he?
So, what? I just let him complain?
Of course. Just give him a starting point to let it all out. It will make him feel better.
God.
Well, if you say so.
Don't worry, Samuel. You are doing wonderfully. I will release your time now.
Well, are you just going to sit there? I was just gonna ask how your trip here was. My trip? My trip was bloody wonderful. Until my familiar got a flat tire and I had to fly 30 kilometers here as a bat. I hate being a bat and I hate flying. Do you know an owl tried to eat me? Me, a creature that has lived for centuries, treated like common prey. I'm surprised he was even interested. You should see what an ugly little beastie I am when I transform. All I could do was screech and squeak until he went away. Well, I suppose I'm alive. In a manner of speaking, anyway. You all right there, pal? Yes, I'm fine. Well, I'm not, of course. I wouldn't be here otherwise. But for the sake of conversational integrity, fine.
I mean, it would be pretty terrifying if a giant owl tried to eat you.
I take it you read my case file and know why I'm here?
You have an addiction?
You're here for an addiction problem. Yes. Embarrassing, isn't it? What's to be embarrassed about? I remember when Ulysses S. Grant was president. Didn't seem to bother him.
Oh, does he?
Oh, well, of course. How wonderful it is that I share the mental failings of people who only live a single lifetime. Hey, come on now. There's a part of us that's still mortal. Can't help that, just like we can't help being dead.
Well, what about like well, he was a bat when an owl tried to eat him. So imagine like a giant owl that's much bigger than you trying to eat you.
So I'm discovering. Look, I just need some tips and I'll be on my way. Just give me all the tricks, whatever one does to make addictions go away. Tips? Let me think.
There's no easy solutions to an addiction?
Partner, there ain't no tips that'll magically cure you. But I'm here to listen.
Why would you suggest giving booze to someone who's already an addict to something?
You know, I never in my life thought anyone would ever call me partner. Like partner, but not with a T. And I know how you English love your tea. Thank goodness we can still process tea. We cannot live on blood alone. I appreciate the concern, though. I must admit, I rather saw myself above this whole addiction thing. I tell you what, let's not worry about being above or below anything. You're here now, so let's see what we can do. What exactly are you addicted to? It's a form of plasma, a catalytic compound of my own design. a necessary component of my own scientific goals.
Well, we don't even know vampires can process booze the same way humans can.
You're losing me. Well, let me try to make it simple. I have been able to replicate and even alter the molecular patterns that vampiric erythrocyte surface receptors receive. Our unique physiology gives us an increased ligand affinity, which is how we are able to process blood the way that we do. I can extend this receptivity and thus achieve my true goal: synthetic blood, freedom from the hunger that plagues us, and hope for all humanity. Well, dang, that sounds pretty impressive, Doc.
He might be drinking it instead of, like, inhaling it. The plasma is like a liquid, right?
Well, it doesn't work without a vampiric catalyst, and that is the plasma I am addicted to. Pathetic, isn't it? I have spent 400 years trying to steal the secret of blood, only to be engulfed by it, like Prometheus walking into a fireplace. Pathetic? Doc, where the heck would you get a word like that? You've come up with a synthetic blood. Man, I can barely get my spurs on some mornings. Maybe you've had a setback or two, but give yourself a little credit, compadre. Credit? For wasting 400 years? Practically speaking, I'm in the same place as I was back when King James was in power. Only now I have a drug problem. Perhaps I must face facts. My professor was right. Nothing we ever do will make a damned bit of difference.
Samuel, listen to him. Do you recognize his patterns of thought?
There's some distortions in there, ain't there?
Yes.
I knew you would sense them. Invite him to talk more about this failure of his.
I'll do my best. Now hold on just a minute there, cowpoke. I've heard you talk a lot about failure, but it sure sounds to me like you ain't thinking clearly if you think you're a failure. I am a realist, that's all. Look at me. 400 years of study and still dabbling with leukocytes. I don't know many people who would call working with leukocytes dabbling.
Disqualifying the positive there.
I mean, I gotta admit, I have no earthly clue what you're talking about. So unless you made up all them science terms, I think you might be doing more than playing with a chemistry set. Perhaps, but if we consider all there is to know about blood, I know precious little. But you know something. Yes, I concede I might know something about blood. I would hope so after 400 years. You still got more knowledge about blood than most, whether it's been 4 years or 400 years, amigo. Let's get back to what you were saying, though. I'm saying I am surely the oldest, most well-studied doctor in the world. I should have achieved more than this.
Oh, should statements.
Well, who said you should have achieved more? Isn't it obvious? I should have something to show for 400 years of work. And what happens if you don't? Absolutely nothing at all. Well, that's my point. That is not as encouraging as you think it is. Ain't meant to be encouraging, just showing you a little reality. Well, it's all my fault, really. I cannot seem to motivate my scientists to reach the necessary level of dedication. It's always shocking to me how little urgency mortals have around death.
I think that's a control fallacy.
So it's all your fault that you haven't come up with the perfect synthetic blood. It can't be anyone else's fault. Only I have the skill, the knowledge, and the experience. Pardon me for saying so, Doc, but it sounds like what you're doing is pretty dang complicated. It sounds to me like you're some kind of god if you expect control over life itself. Please, I'm a scientist, not a spiritualist. It is not control I seek, but understanding. And are you ever gonna have perfect understanding? No, of course not. I'm not a wizard. So how about not putting saving the world on one person, Doc? That is a simplification, but I take your point. As I was saying, now that I'm addicted to my own drug, I have joined the ranks of mortal celebrities in my utter irrelevance.
I think that's black and white picking, maybe? Or labeling. Maybe labeling, actually.
Now, why would you go and label yourself irrelevant? What else do you call a man who has nothing to show after 400 years? I reckon I'd call him by his given name. Slapping a label on yourself don't do nothing but weigh you down. Oh, well played, cowpoke. Perhaps I am being a little dramatic. Yes, I'm aware that in reality progress has been made, enough to get to this point. But I didn't come here to ask for a pat on the back and to be told I'm a good boy. That ain't my department, but I hear they do some of that stuff downstairs. Yes, we all know very well that the Continentals are more sexually liberated than we are. But as I say, I don't want all this therapy stuff. I just want to stop using this damn drug. So what's so good about this stuff anyway? Why do you like it? I'm not certain. I don't remember what happens after I take it, but I wake up feeling, how do I put this? Alive? Well, that don't sound so bad. A good nap can make me feel like a new man. I'm not talking about feeling refreshed. I mean I feel alive. As if I'm someone else. Someone who lives. And I wake up and find, oh gracious me, I am not depressed. You mean to tell me that you're going to sleep depressed every night? Oh, nothing of the sort. Oh well, I'm glad to hear that. You are assuming that I can simply go to sleep and my global scientific enterprise will run itself. Oh wait just a gosh darn minute. You're telling me you don't sleep? Yes, it's not as though we can get much deader already, and I have work to do.
God. I don't think he's talking about that in that context, though.
So you're not sleeping, and you're always depressed. I think we're starting to get somewhere. Oh, don't be such a bumpkin. If you are a sapient individual, aware of the world around you, depression is the only sensible reaction. It has nothing to do with sleep.
I think that's black and white thinking.
Come on now, it's a big world out there, and different things are depressing to different people. Everyone reacts to things differently. Ain't it true that a sensible person, as you call them, might even be a different degree of depressed? Very well, I suppose I might have been using a bit of mild hyperbole. Mild is putting it mildly, buckaroo. Buckaroo? Now I'm even more depressed. Regardless, I didn't come here to be a whiner. Oh, boo-hoo, life is hard. Yes, we all know it's hard.
I don't know which one this would be.
Now why'd you say coming and talking to me makes you a whiner? Is that not what I currently am? Sounds to me like you're expressing yourself. Whiner is the word you used. Yeah, if you want to call it whining, that's up to you. But that's entirely your label. Oh, very well, call it moaning or whinging if you prefer. Moaning, whinging, belly aching, still all just labels. I don't believe I shall be using the term belly aching in any case.
You know, I'm from Texas, and even then, most people don't say buckaroo, partner, compadre anymore.
But as I was saying, in the moments I wake up, I feel free. I suppose it must be what being an ignoramus feels like. You honestly think feeling good makes you an ignoramus? The phrase ignorance is bliss is most apt, don't you think? But by calling yourself an ignoramus, you're making bliss something to be avoided.
Ignoramus is certainly a word.
Yes, unfortunate how that works, isn't it? The only way to be happy is by being a fool.
Okay. Do you use it commonly, though?
Partner, those are your labels. Try using something more positive and see how you feel.
But to be fair, though, back when I was living in Texas, I was living in Austin, which is like Little California.
What? Shall I say that by being ignorant, I am a noble genius? Still just labels. Oh, very well. I suppose I might be discounting my experience. I don't know how to say this, amigo. You really don't like letting yourself be happy. Honestly, I'm failing to see the problem with taking this stuff. Seems like it's making you get the rest you need and it makes you feel good. What's the problem? First of all, I do not need to rest. And partaking of this plasma does have downsides. What kind of downsides? I do not know what happens when I partake of the substance. However, when I wake up, I feel refreshed. But I also smell of blood and sex. Once I even woke up wearing a football jersey. It was most distasteful. I guess you must be having some kind of good time. That is not my idea of a good time. I'm Dr. Drain. I am intelligent and worldly, not some ill-bred monster. I don't go gallivanting into godforsaken places to engage in depraved coitus and the consumption of dirty blood. It sounds to me like you're real good at denying yourself things. Well, I should be better at it.
Should.
You know,
Easy.
Doc, a wise old vampire recently told me something I'm about to tell you.
My thought process is, why does he keep doing it? Like, If he thinks it's so bad and he doesn't enjoy it, quote unquote, why does he keep doing it?
You keep talking about the things you should be doing. You, compadre, are shoulding all over yourself. Oh, well, that is vivid, isn't it? I can now add incontinence to my already considerable list of faults.
Maybe, but he hasn't really been talking about that.
I'm being serious.
He hasn't once
I'm
mentioned
listening
that.
to you tell me I should be doing this, and I shouldn't be doing that.
He has, well, okay, he has said he felt alive, but he never, like, said that, put that in, like, a good way.
But who gave you all them shoulds and shouldn'ts? I don't know. It shouldn't matter, should it? I've been dead for over 400 years. It's the oldest stuff that sticks with us, amigo. We all got traumas. Heck, we're dead, man. That's traumatic no matter what. What we gotta start with is you.
Yeah, maybe.
You've been through a lot. Don't rope yourself up so tight. Listen, we're doing good work already, I know it. Now, let's not push too hard. I would really like you to think about where all them shoulds are coming from before we meet again. And be good to yourself, all right, partner? Don't feel like you gotta go cold turkey on that plasma stuff. Yes, well, all the same, I'd rather not do it at all. Is that actually gonna happen, though? It might. You're dipping into it tonight, aren't you? I was thinking about it. All right, partner. Just give yourself a little compassion. That's all I'm asking. I'll admit, you've given me some things to think about. Not pleasant ones, mind. You can handle it, partner. You're way smarter than I am. Yes, well, that is certainly true. Very well. I shall do some reflecting. Inasmuch as our kind can reflect. I shall see you in precisely 4 weeks, then. Farewell, Sam.
Masterfully done, Samuel. I knew you would do well, but that doesn't make me any less pleased.
Well, that was a hell of a rush. That fella's holding on tighter than a holster to a gunslinger's hip. It felt real good to help him look at himself a little more kindly.
Good, Samuel. Treasure this feeling. But also rest. Go downstairs, get something to drink, relax in your coffin. Next week you shall see a new client. I think they will be an interesting challenge for you. I bid you good evening, Samuel. Rest in peace.
Hello.
You too, Andy. Well, I guess it's time I got me some grub. Well, that's it, I guess. My first client. Can't believe I'm doing this therapy stuff already.
I am going to go ahead and use the restroom real quick. I'll be right back in like a couple minutes. I'll be right back. Hello? Okay, I'm back. Sorry that took me a bit. How's it feel being? Excuse me, I haven't been to therapy in a while. But pretty nice.
Sure could use a drink.
Hi.
I'll check in with Crimson.
Well, if it isn't Yosemite Sam, how you doing tonight, partner?
Yeah, I've been doing just fine trying to therapize myself via workbooklets and online resources.
Better already, hearing from someone from the States who knows the lingo.
I'm not from any states, cowpoke. District of Columbia girl here.
But Washington, D.C. is still in the United States.
I figured you must have been coastal. You sound a little more polished than I do.
You should hear my German.
Maybe some other time. My brain's full tonight. I had my first therapy session with a real client.
Oh yeah? How do you think it went?
It went great.
I reckon it was a bullseye on my end.
It's less self-help books and more like what I generally do is actually go on to websites that are made for like resources for therapists to like print out and use, and I just print them out and use them myself.
You should have seen me. Labeling, blam, disqualifying the positive, kapow.
I'm glad to hear it. Someone has got to sort these vamps out. They know how to hold on to their problems.
I do find that like I do think it's not as good as actually going to an actual therapist, just because if there is something that I guess a cognitive distortion or whatever that I am exhibiting that I can't see myself, I can't point that out of myself, you know. So sorry, my cat's screaming at me. But as I was saying, God, I lost my train of thought. Fuck. Thanks, Vera. But yeah, anyways. Vera, I have two cats. Vera is the first one, and the second cat that I got is Mocha. They're both very, very cute.
You ain't kidding. Living or dead, once people hit 70, they get pretty dang set in their ways.
You know Andy still uses a typewriter? I can't get that gorgeous man to see the light. Keep it up, cowboy. You're a breath of fresh air for these ancient ones.
Yeah, true.
Anyone ever tell you you're wise beyond your years, Crimson? You must have had some life.
Yeah. I mean, I have health insurance, but I don't believe they cover a typical therapist. I think they cover if I happen, like, to go take a stay in the local psych ward. They'll cover that. Because that's like an emergency, but they won't cover, like, a normal therapist. Oh, geez. That sucks.
Afraid I'm exactly as wise as my years. How old do you think I am, cowboy?
I'm gonna do the gentlemanly thing and not hazard a guess.
You would have gotten it wrong anyway. I'm 50 years young.
50? I died around that age and I looked like shit. But you ain't a vampire.
Like I told you, I'm Andy's blood partner. He shares his blood with me too, just not enough to turn me into one of you. I've been 30 for a good while.
Yeah, that
now.
really sucks.
But you ain't joining our team? Sounds like a story.
Not for tonight, buckaroo. I bet you're thirsty after a big night. Andy told me to give this to you.
Oh yeah? What is it?
We had a group of Americans come in last week who donated their blood. Andy can't stand the stuff. He says the blood glucose levels are too high, but he thought you'd appreciate it.
Oh, it ain't so bad. I gotta ask though, what does Andy's blood taste like?
To me, it tastes like life itself, cowboy.
I ain't sure I understand.
Never you mind. Look, Tex, I've got some customers to serve, so go enjoy your juice, okay?
Oh, of course. I'm keen to get some rest anyway. You have yourself a fine night, Crimson.
Oh boy.
There he is, my incredible protege.
Okay.
Come on now, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Evidence stands against that reasoning, my friend. Do we need to talk about disqualifying the positive again?
All right, I get it. I guess I've been muddling through okay.
You've been doing wonderfully. I hope you are ready for a bit of a challenge tonight.
Yeah. It's the only glitch this game has, and it's very odd because this game is not that intensive, but it acts like I'm trying to stream Helldivers 2 or something every time it loads something.
Your next client has been known to be somewhat difficult. Here, look at her intake form.
Isabella Deste. Dang,
Hmm.
she's got some funny tasting hats.
Alright, let's see if I can get through this without coughing too much. Isabella Deste, 550, age, gender female, origin Renaissance. Isabella Deste was a key figure in the Italian Renaissance, funding the works of Leonardo da Vinci, Andrea Mantegna, and Michelangelo. She received a humanist education and knows much about history, art, music, and philosophy. She comes from a highly aristocratic background but has endured considerable family issues through the generations. She states that she's undergoing an existential immortality crisis, suggesting that her life and unlife have been both meaningless. Suggestion: be exceedingly polite.
I think you should get along quite well then.
Walked right into that one.
Isabella is not your average vampire. She was once the powerful matriarch of one of the most influential families in Europe. She fraternized with popes and kings, and she also wielded great power over the art world. Some say that she was the model for the Mona Lisa.
One of them highfalutin types, huh? I don't think she's gonna like me much.
She is as human as any of us, Samuel. I already know you will find a way to relate with her.
If you say so.
Remember, you can always seek my advice if you feel lost. You are not alone, but I hear the beating of elegant wings.
Oh boy.
Breathe, Samuel. Oh, and do be polite.
Goodness.
Hello.
So you are the new therapist Andromachos told me of. I was not expecting someone so rugged.
Sam Walls at your service, ma'am.
You are a therapist.
Well, that's what I'm here for, ma'am.
Enough with this, ma'am. I am not running a whorehouse. You may call me Senora.
Alright, Sonora.
All right, Sinora.
Senora? Must you assault my ears with your Neolithic grunting?
I'm doing the best I can.
Then speak properly. Repeat after me. Signora. Say it.
Signora.
Signora.
Signora! Signora!
Signora?
Porca miseria, this is not going to be easy, is it?
Therapy ain't never easy, Signora.
So, therapy is always easy then?
I said it ain't never easy, Signora.
Is therapy easy or is it not?
Not, I guess.
Oh, how are we to examine my inner demons if your own speech is so
Jesus
diabolical?
Christ. You know what I need for this? Oh, soda.
You know what? Let's start over. Greetings and salutations, Signora. I am most honored to receive you in my humble office.
Very well. I suppose it will do.
I'm just here to help, Signora. It says here on your intake forms that you've been having a tough time lately.
A tough time. Indeed, yes, it has been a tough time. The realization that not only am I a corpse, but that I have been a useless corpse for nearly 400 years is a tough time.
Yep.
So what set off this feeling that you're a corpse?
I saw a film at the cinema.
Hey, I love the cinema.
Bond for over movies.
Well, not many of our kind are movie buffs. What are some of your favorite films?
I would hesitate to say favorite, but there are some films that are more acceptable than others. For instance, Beneath the Velvet Dusk or In Search of Sadness are engaging explorations of the mortal condition.
Oh, I ain't heard of them. You ever seen The Three Stooges?
Utter vulgarity. I do not waste my time with such nonsense. Alas, these Stooges 3 would be preferable to the abomination I saw at the cinema that made me realize just how dead I am. It was a most terrible film, one that shook me to my core. The pain of it lingers with me still, Jesus. 5 years later.
Well, movies can be pretty powerful. Heck, I remember seeing one of the first films. There was a train coming right for the audience. We thought we were dead for sure.
This film was not powerful. It was meaningless. It said nothing, did nothing, less than nothing, as loudly and garishly as possible. And the audience, fools that they were, cheered, applauded this desecration of the mind. I hate this film with all my being, for it has done the cruelest thing. It has revealed the dark truth.
My cat's acting up.
This life that I cling to has no purpose.
Mocha is trying to play with my yard. Let's pour my crocheting. Ah.
Dang, what the heck was this movie?
Space Wars. Rise of the Spacewalker.
Star Wars, really?
Wait a minute. Space Wars, the big science fiction franchise?
Yes, I believe it is important to understand modern media diets.
You know, I thought Boss Baby would be worse, but alright.
But that's the movie that gave you your personal crisis?
Mind your tone. Do not think me a fool. I know it was not high art. But the money it made, it would make even the Pope blush. This stinking trash. This is what the people want. You see, I understand now. My attempts to infuse art with meaning were pointless. All that I am, all that I ever was, is dead.
Disqualifying the positive, maybe? Oh.
For such a complicated woman, the answers are overly simple for Signora Deste, are they not, Samuel?
You see, I understand
Labeling?
now.
Oh.
For such a complicated woman,
You see, I understand now. My attempts to infuse art...
What am I...
such a complicated
What is it?
woman,
You see, I understand now. My attempts to infuse art with meaning were pointless. All that I am, all that I ever was...
You don't seem that dead to me. We're having this conversation, ain't we? You ain't just lying there decomposing.
It is no different. I might as well be rotting in the ground.
I think you might get pretty bored.
Are you getting smart with me, boy?
Look, I'm just talking facts. If you're saying all you are is dead, I think you might be doing some Nosferatu thinking. It ain't black and white, you're here. But let's go back to what you were saying.
Once, I elevated art, and all the world benefited. Why have I lost my power to elevate art now?
Yeah, this might be a control fallacy.
All the world benefited? There's a lot of people, and they got a lot of different preferences. You can't get them all, can you?
But I could, once upon a time.
You can't reach everybody, Senora. I hadn't even heard of the Mona Lisa until about 1911.
Did you have any schooling whatsoever?
No, I didn't. But I don't think anyone in my time knew about the Mona Lisa either.
Oh, how wonderful. You add to my despair.
I'm saying you can't reach everyone, even in your own time.
That is true. I doubt the rabble had much of an opinion about the so-called great masters.
We only know what we know. But you were saying...
It was all for nothing. What good was guiding Da Vinci when they sell the Mona Lisa on beer coasters?
Oh, come on now. Just
Sure.
because the Mona Lisa's been on a coaster doesn't mean that's all it's ever been for. I think you might be downplaying just what an impact you've had on the world.
The world needs no help from me to reduce my life's effort to cheap commodities.
So just because something gets printed on a t-shirt, that cancels out everything that's good about it?
Yes, that is exactly what it does.
And I thought I was good at disqualifying the positive.
It should not be so. Art should have meaning, purpose. Beauty should expose truth.
Should.
You're saying art should have meaning and purpose. But does all art need those things?
What is the purpose of creation otherwise?
How about if I just like doodling? Ain't that a good enough reason to draw?
It is a pointless reason.
Well, maybe I want to do something pointless. All I'm saying is that I don't have the same shoulds you do.
Perhaps you should.
But I don't. I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do.
Which is speak like a peasant.
Heck, that's what I am, Senora. Ain't nothing gonna change that reality. Let's get back to what you were saying.
But it seems I am just a dead woman. A walking corpse who is not worth listening to. I should walk into the sun.
Now, why have you gotta go and call yourself names?
They are not names, they are my reality. I am a dead woman, and I am a corpse, am I not?
Is that all you are?
This is how I am defined by the world.
Seems to me you're the one using them names. Hell, I think I'd be a little afraid of calling you a corpse.
As you should be. Allow me to continue. You know, you make me sound rather mad. Like an old woman, railing at the world, screaming into the void, all to no purpose.
Look, Senora, all I'm trying to do is show you where you're a little rigid in your thinking is all. You're expecting a lot from the world and a lot from yourself. It ain't no surprise that you're going to be disappointed over and over again.
I suppose that is some insight. Indeed, I have been in a state of disappointment from the moment I was 16.
Ouch.
What happened when you were 16?
I got married.
I think I get it.
You absolutely do not get it. You are a man.
Well then, help me understand.
Frankie, my husband. He taught me the meaning of disappointment.
Oh, how sad.
He taught me the world was built upon lies. These things men proclaim as values. Truth, beauty, the spiritual. They were all fiction. But if men did not live according to principle, I would. I would set the example and shame
If you
them
don't like
all.
your husband, then divorce him.
Yet, what a fool I have been to think humanity had greater aims.
So, what's this greater aim you're talking about?
I received a humanist education as a child. I was taught that the pathway to God was through rationality and a questioning mind, not slavish devotion to tradition. This world is not Eden, but it could be. Or so I thought.
So you're talking about a literal pathway to God?
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
No, fool. A pathway to godliness. To live according to our natures. Our true natures.
I feel like all these are bad options. You mean being vampires?
You mean being vampires?
Come now, boy. Nothing could be further from natural. All this foolish hissing and copulation and blood drinking does not bring us closer to God. But it does give us more time to find the path.
Well, talk to me about this pathway to God. How do you reckon we find this path?
I reckon nothing. I've always known that we can find our way back to God by fulfilling our human potential to be the greatest souls possible.
I don't know what kind of sex is like. I hold a similar belief to this. So I don't know what fallacy this is. Should statements? No.
It seems that godliness is a pure binary for our dear Senora, isn't it, Samuel?
I reckon nothing. I've always known that we can find our way back to God by fulfilling our human potential to be the greatest souls possible.
So what happens if we don't become the greatest souls possible?
Then godliness is denied to us, as it should be.
So I guess that's something bad to think.
So either we ascend or we're nothing, huh?
I am glad to hear you are not as foolish as you look.
Well, let's be honest, Senora. Plain folks like me ain't got aspirations of being as good as Jesus Christ. Ain't he supposed to be a forgiving sort anyway? Let's just get back to what you were saying.
I have always known we must master ourselves and our baser instincts. Virtue must triumph over vice.
Is this still black and white thinking? No.
You know there have been many entities over time that have tried to control humanity.
I have
Control
You've been around a while, Senora. In all that time, when have we mastered ourselves and our baser instincts?
not a single day. Men especially have no bottom to their depravity.
All right, fair enough. So us fellas have disappointed you every day for a few hundred years, right? Ain't that proof that nothing you do is gonna change that?
An evil thought, Mr. Sam Walls, but true, I concede.
We're in agreement then. It's a little bit of a control fallacy to think that's gonna change because of you. Let's keep going.
I have always known that the earthly lives we lead are disgusting, and only war and death can come of them.
Labeling?
The world is very dark to our dear Senora, is it not, Samuel? I did not know my own life was so devoid.
I have always known that the earth...
The world is very...
I have always known that the earth...
Hold up just a sec there, cowpoke. You really think all we can do is sow death and
I feel like
destruction?
I'm having a hard time with this because I hold, like, some similar beliefs to hers. Not that, like, men are disgusting or something, but more of, like, a... people should strive to be the best people that they can be. And it's their fault. And I know this is, I guess, a fallacy, but if they don't try to strive for that, then it's kind of bad on them. So, I don't know. I'm gonna have to work on that.
I do not poke cows. Do I look like a farmer?
Come on, Senora. You've been alive to see what? 15, 20 billion people live and die? You really saying death and destruction is all each and every one of them ever amounted to?
Well, perhaps not individually.
Is it?
But as an
In a good
immortal,
way?
I look at the greater arc of history.
Well, most of us ain't looking to contribute to the greater arc of history, but that don't mean life's pointless.
Maybe. I don't know, I mean... should he try to be a good person? I don't know. Maybe that's on me. I don't know.
That's some Nosferatu thinking, I'll tell you what. But let's continue.
I I have always known the people have become fat and lazy, and living within the Garden of Eden is impossible in such a
that's not
state.
true. But what distortion is that? No.
Our esteemed client is very good at coming up with names for others, isn't she?
Labeling. Okay.
Sounds to me like you're coming up with labels for kicking people out of the Garden of Eden.
Yeah. I mean, I think Signora here is, taking it to an extreme of, like, if you do not try to become close to godliness as humanly possible, then you're a horrible person or something. And that's bad. Which,
Is that all we amount to? Fat and lazy?
Look around your own country, boy. Look at me. See my disgusting rolls and saggy features.
I mean, if you see yourself as having those flaws, why don't you try to fix it?
Would you let me into the Garden of Eden?
Yeah. I mean, for someone who complains like, oh, I'm disgusting and like blah blah blah, there's no reason to complain if you're not trying to do anything to fix it. Ugh.
Well, sure, why the heck not?
I am glad you are not the gatekeeper then.
I don't know, I would let her in because she's trying.
You rather have a gatekeeper who wouldn't let you in? Listen, Senora, you gotta go easy on yourself with them labels. Well, let's keep talking, though.
I have always known we should act with dignity if we would take our place at God's side once more.
I forget what the Denny Kruger effect is. Not gonna lie. Should.
I think this here's the meat of it, Senora. The filet mignon.
I fear your French is even worse than your Italian.
Here's the thing, Senora. Who came up with all them shoulds that'll take you to God?
Why, the greatest thinkers of history that I studied in my youth. Plato, Aristotle, Cicero, Aquinas.
Sounds like a bunch of dead guys to me. They really had it all figured out way back when, huh?
Well, of course not. How foolish do you think me?
Not at all, Senora. Just questioning where all them shoulds are coming from. But let's keep going.
So you think you are so very clever, do you, boy? That by pointing out my distortions, you have won?
No, it's not a game. Okay, whatever.
That is where you are truly the fool. I already know how wrong I have been, that I have been chasing an impossible fiction all my life. Indeed, I now believe that even if we did follow the pathway to God, once we reach the end, we would discover that he, too, was a work of fiction.
So she's been an atheist this whole time?
When I say God,
what?
I mean goodness, propriety, intelligence.
Oh my god.
God himself is a lie.
Ah, okay. Fair enough.
I see. So you've lost your faith?
Yes, it has crumbled to dust, much like myself in this fat, wretched old body. Beauty and truth are lies, ideas developed by ugly men to justify their existence. While we occupy ourselves chasing those ideals, they create space wars to leech our money and our vitality.
This sounds like a really weird conspiracy theory, madam.
And to think, they call me judgmental, while they created the false ideal to judge against.
It sounds like she believes that men as a whole has been setting up ideals for women, specifically women, not both men and women, but specifically women, to chase this ideal of beauty and intelligence and humbleness or something, just so they can make money off of them by making Star Wars. While there is certainly such a thing as, like, you know, a makeup ad say, like, oh, you're gonna be ugly, nobody wants you if you don't wear this foundation or something. This isn't, it's just because the people who own the makeup companies want to make money, that's it. It has nothing to do with the movie industry. Ah. Oh my god.
You don't think I'm judgmental,
And it made
do
her
you, boy?
lose her faith in God because of this conspiracy theory. Yes, absolutely.
I wouldn't put it that way exactly. Besides, I ain't gonna call you names. In fact, that's where I think I want to challenge you. Senora, I think the person you're judging more than anyone is yourself. I know you got raised with all them high ideals, so of course you're getting disappointed when nobody can reach them. That's some heavy pressure, not just on them, but on yourself. I'd ask yourself what all that pressure's doing for you. Is it bringing you any satisfaction? We can't always control what things are gonna be.
This is not acceptable.
I got some bad news for you, Senora. None of us really has the power to change the world on our own. Not even a clever lady like yourself. I suggest we start working on ways of helping you find a way to accept the world for what it is.
But the world is base and unworthy.
Remember that term I told you about? Nosferatu thinking? You're gonna strip all the color out of the world if you keep doing that. The world's a lot more than just base and unworthy.
The hilarious thing is that her character sprite doesn't even exaggerate her weight that much. It pushes her more elegant clothes. Yeah. I mean, these clothes itself, it's very puffy. You know? I'm pretty sure underneath all that, she's not that, like, fat. You know?
Nosferatu thinking. I am not used to having my own thoughts thrown back at me.
Well, that's why you're here, ain't it? I ain't gonna help you change the world, Senora. All I can do is help you find some other perspectives.
To me, it just kind of looks like she has broad shoulders.
I suppose there is a certain simpleton's wisdom in the way you speak.
Thanks, I guess.
Very well, boy. I will consider what you have said.
Yeah.
We will meet again in exactly 4 weeks. Do we have an understanding?
I can't say, like, her figure isn't, like, the most feminine thing ever, right? You know, broad shoulders. That's obviously a more masculine trait. But I don't think she's ugly. Like, the way she probably sees herself.
Yes, indeed, Senora.
Ugh. Please learn to speak properly by then.
Well done, Samuel. I believe you handled Senora Deste quite well.
You kidding? That lady straight up hates my guts.
Samuel, if Isabella Deste hated your guts, she would not be shy about telling you so.
That I believe.
The older we get, the harder it is to gain a different perspective. Have patience. We are not all as wise as Samuel Walls.
Guess it's just that simpleton's wisdom, as the Senora called it.
Do not adopt her labels, Samuel. I will not stand for it. I know she was a challenge, but you rose to it as I knew you would.
I don't know, I feel like I kind of sucked at that.
I think you deserve a night of hard drinking. What do you say?
Mainly because I myself have trouble identifying black and white thinking fallacies.
You don't need to tell me twice. All right, Andy. I'll see you later then.
Indeed, Samuel. Enjoy yourself. Excellent work tonight. Rest in peace.
Alright, here we go. Oh, that wasn't as bad as the last
Dang,
one.
I think that's enough abuse for one night. I could use a drink and a quiet night.
Alright, let's save.
Hey, cowboy. Why the long face?
I used to say the same thing to my princess.
Your daughter.
My horse, actually. She never really understood the joke, but I still like telling it to her.
Yeah, same here. I myself, I suffer with borderline personality disorder, which the main thing is with that is black and white thinking. And I've been getting a lot better about it, but it's still kind of hard.
You didn't answer my question, Gunslinger. What's got you down?
Oh, I just finished up with my second client. She gave me a tongue lashing to remember her by. You ever talk to someone who's so educated and refined that they make you feel like a space alien?
Only everyone I ever met in law school. At least until I learned to speak their language.
You're a lawyer?
Was, and no, I wasn't the blood-sucking kind before you start with the vampire jokes. Just a wide-eyed DC do-gooder. But I get what you're talking about. People can use language like a membership card. You don't speak the lingo, you don't get in.
Well, that's just what I mean. I just ain't sure I've got the lingo for a 500-year-old high society Renaissance woman.
Well, how do you think your session went? Think she heard you?
I don't think so.
That lady was ripping into me from the moment I saw her. She was calling me peasant like it was the worst thing a person could be. She looked at me like I was a dog that had just done its business on the carpet. How am I supposed to get through to someone who doesn't respect me?
Well, let me ask you this. Is she coming back?
Well, yeah, she said she was coming back next month.
Sounds like her words and her actions aren't lining up. Far as you know, she could have a crush on you.
I doubt that's it. But you got a point there. If she'd gotten nothing out of our session, I doubt I'd be seeing her again. Maybe I'm just tired. I could use a drink.
What are you in the mood for? Men? Women? Something a little more off the beaten path?
I think I'll have some takeaway tonight. What have you got?
Here, try this. Should put some color in those cheeks.
You really ain't squeamish, huh, Crimson?
Nah, healthy blood never hurt anyone. I've been hanging around vampires for 20 years, and they aren't so scary.
Not even Bert?
What, that old pointy-eared teddy bear? He's a total sweetheart, unless someone gets aggressive or touchy with the customers.
What does he do then?
They get a stern warning.
And if they don't listen?
Why, then he eats them.
Maybe he is a teddy bear. I met Teddy Roosevelt back in the night, and I'm pretty sure he would have done the same thing. Speaking of which, I gotta thirst something fierce. I think I'll head back to my coffin for a little rest. But you have a good night, Crimson.
You too, Sam. Don't let the Draculas bite.
Sounds like fun.
Time to crack open a warm one.
Ooh, warm blood.
That's the good stuff. Now, maybe I can find
Yeah.
a quote from one of my favorite books that'll help give me a little inspiration.
I'm not a vampire, I guess, so I don't understand that, like, ugh. Warm, coagulated blood? Ugh.
Or I could watch the Three Stooges hit each other a whole bunch. Or I could just go to sleep. What's it gonna be, Sammy boy?
Right?
My profession is to be always on the alert, to find God in nature, to know his lurking places.
I think I would prefer to be a vampire than, like, a werewolf, but it's not having to drink blood all the time. Doesn't sound that appetizing to me. I don't know, I would rather be like an eldritch void entity, like what my model's supposed to be.
I always like that quote. I ain't a God-fearing kind, but it's true. There's a natural beauty behind the man-made world if you know where to look. Isabella d'Este's all culture and breeding, but underneath, she's got her vulnerable and beautiful humanity too. I just gotta remember that. All right, that's enough for one night. Time for some rest. I hope my next client will be a little easier.
Oh god. Here we go.
Samuel, good
I'm
evening.
alive? Okay,
I am
cool.
glad to see you looking so fresh and well slept.
If I had the choice to be a vampire, or like, I don't know, die of old age, I would probably choose to be a vampire though. I don't know if this is normal or not, but I kind of have a fear of death.
Uh-oh, something tells me I'm in for it tonight.
The truth is seldom unseen by you, my friend. Tonight, you face perhaps one of the most difficult challenges a therapist can face. The fact that you may not be able to help everyone.
Yeah, I just have like a fear of the unknown. I don't know what happens after death. Any D&D class? Realistically, I would likely be a cleric. A cleric or I guess a wizard? No, cleric. I would say cleric. Cleric or warlock. Yeah, I fear. Yeah, I could say that I'm a coward.
In truth, I have failed to help clients with this particular disposition many times.
Hey, I'm new at this. You're nigh on 3,000 years old. If you can't help them, how can I?
I mean, wizard is a good choice. I always enjoy like spellcasters in general. But I can't really see. How do I put this? The reason why I say a cleric or a warlock is because I feel like I would need to get my power from a higher power than like from myself. If that makes sense. I mean, that sounds like fun too. Well, you see, I'm not very arrogant. And I find, would I prefer power for a higher power? I mean, that would be something I would be the most comfortable with. It's much easier, I think, to trust in a higher power to get what you need done versus doing, like, you know, an occultic ritual that's supposed to be all on you. And if you have a much higher chance of failure or something going wrong. If that makes sense. And yes, a higher power than myself, not just another warlock. I mean, depending on like the D&D god, I would say that a lot of them are pretty trustworthy. And I would definitely say I don't have issues of like arrogance or I guess trust in that sense. So I wouldn't really have to worry about that because even at like during the whole like Signora session, I actively admitted that I have a similar problem that she does by thinking, oh, we should all get closer to godliness. That's what all people should strive for. Even though a lot of people don't think like that. So to me, I think being like a cleric or something would make sense for my own personality and character.
It is not guaranteed that we can help every client. To think we are powerless to help any is a cognitive distortion itself. I believe you know it.
Yeah, all right, control fallacy, I know. I can help some folk.
That's right. Here, take a look at this case file.
Theater feller, huh?
Okay.
I've known a few of them in my time. They can be a little, self-absorbed.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a very good choice too. Edmund Keane, 237, male, British. Edmund Keane was a highly influential Shakespearean stage actor during the Georgia period. Wait a second, I need some water. Okay. He is credited with more personal interpretations of character as opposed to pantomime performances. He lives a tumultuous life on stage, dealing with alcoholism, sex scandals, and entitled behavior. He wishes to return to the stage, but expresses great anger at critics who might review him poorly. He demands respect as the greatest actor the world has ever seen. Oh, one of those types. I suppose I am too. Well, not self-reliant. More like distrustful when it comes to relying on others. I take something coming from me any time of the century over someone's else. Yes, that's fair. I can definitely see your perspective on that. I guess I've always been a little bit too overly trusting of people, so I don't have that problem. I would say I have the opposite problem.
He's looking for therapy because people don't like him, it says?
He is one of the most revered actors in all of history.
So he might have a few cognitive distortions.
A few. He may not recognize them, Samuel, but all you can do is present reality to him. He comes. Remember, I will give you whatever advice I can. Good luck, my friend.
I hope I'm up to this.
What is this vampire I see before me?
Howdy.
I'm Sam Walls. I'm your new therapist.
Your dress, your bearing, your hat. You also are forgotten by time. Oh, how fortuitous! A kindred spirit, perhaps. A therapist should know pain, I say. Most excellent.
Thank you.
Tarnation. Can't get a break with this here hat of mine.
No, it's perfect. Do not change a single thing. It gives me faith. Faith, my dear vampire, that you can help me.
I'm gonna do everything I can. I promise you that, amigo.
Do not do so lightly. Darkness dwells within my damned soul. You journey into my pain at your peril, and I cannot bear your
Whatever shall
virgil.
you do?
You're who now? Anyway, you wrote in your intake form that you're here because...
Mortals don't appreciate you.
mortals don't appreciate you, you said.
Indeed, and I fear they cannot. They must die to appreciate life. As mortals, they cannot ask the immortal questions. What is life for us who do not live? Why are we here? Why do we continue? What do we do when death has no meaning? And what a piece of work is vampire! How noble in stature, how infinite in life!
Okay.
All right, that's enough of that. Before we answer the question of why we're all here, why are you here? Well, that is, what exactly drove you to me, partner?
Oh, that. Well, a pustule of a theater historian I recently seduced and killed sprang the seeds of doubt in mine corpus. He was writing a biography of the great Edmund Kean, and I thought mayhap that I would favor him with a secret or two. He said my acting style would now be considered archaic. Though I drank him to the last, I fear his cruel barb was sharper than my fangs.
Ouch.
This embossed carbuncle of corrupted blood caused me to doubt myself. Are all men such fools? Will I ever find my audience again? Or did they die long, long ago? Help me purge these mortal concerns from my mind, dear man.
We're always gonna have doubts, compadre. That's normal. But I think I can help you see things a little differently. So, he said your acting's out of date. Why don't you just tell me why it bothered you so much?
Because it's simply not possible. Acting became a noble craft entirely because of me. In truth, I am perfect.
Control fallacy?
Hold on a sec there, partner. Acting became a noble craft because of you?
I mean, you gotta remember all the vampires here, well, maybe not all, but most of them have killed people. And yes.
That's a lot of
He did murder
control
the
over a
dude.
whole skill.
Yes, impressive, isn't it? So long as men can breathe or eyes can see, so lives mine art, and this gives life to thee.
Well, those are some pretty words. You make that up yourself?
It is the bard himself, boor.
Well, maybe he had something to do with the development of your craft then. It ain't been just you.
Well, naturally. But Shakespeare's works are simply words upon a page without me.
Compadre, I think you know he gave you a leg up in your career. You can share in the success a little.
Oh, there are celebrated actors in these times, yes. But any success they have is due to my beating the path for them to follow.
I think that's disqualifying the positive.
Well, wait a minute. You're saying that every actor's success comes straight from you?
Of course. Even the greatest among my art would have been consigned to obscurity had it not been for my advancements.
Every single one of them ain't had nothing of their own to give to the theater?
Well, I suppose one or two actors in the last 300 years have impressed me.
Well, don't you think they deserve their own success?
I suppose mortals are owed their 15 minutes of fame. One must have some pity for them. We are not monsters. But the actors of modern times, they are shallow, beggarly parrots. Parrots who screech the lines, but do they know them? Do they feel as we feel?
Labeling?
So you're saying modern actors are parrots?
McLean? I think she's gonna be here.
Indeed. They are only mimics, and thus no better than a well-trained bird.
You don't think they're actually birds, do you?
I suppose.
My dear boy, they live such short lives. What else can they do but ape the words and action?
But when you call them birds, you're just labeling them that. You ain't giving them a fair shot.
Maybe. I guess I'll have to see, huh?
Oh, come now. I was clearly employing a little dramatic license.
Because I feel like this game was made after she died. Like, the script is written at least after she died, so I don't know if she's gonna be in here. I mean, Sam is a very, very new therapist, you gotta remember that.
But we're here to talk about truth, right, compadre?
It is my gentle direction that takes the craft to higher echelons, and mine alone. Acting does not evolve without me.
Troll fallacy.
You're saying only you can change the course of acting?
You know, Queen Elizabeth II? Yeah, she's dead. She died a while ago. He's only giving you the crease because he's a British actor. God.
It is demonstrably true. There is acting
He's
before
also
Edmund
very,
Kean,
very
and there is
narcissistic.
acting after Edmund Kean.
But there's so many types of acting out there. I mean, I remember when vaudeville came out, but I don't think you had anything to do with that.
Vaudeville? Oh, like so many American arts, an art of the grotesque. You plunge a dagger into the heart of subtlety.
You didn't know? Were you in a coma?
So you didn't have nothing to do with vaudeville?
Oh, devils below, no.
Well, then you got a little control fallacy, hombre. Mortals got wills of their own.
God. I'm sorry that happened to you guys.
Indeed. I suppose I don't want any responsibility for the things the Americans create anyway. These critics should honor me, as is my due.
Should.
You're saying critics should honor you. Well, what happens if they don't?
Then they are not doing their jobs properly. I do not ask for
Oh
their
my god, he's
laudation
such a
without
narcissist.
cause. But if a so-called critic does not recognize my contributions to the theater, what do they know of the theater?
Maybe they just got different tastes.
Uneducated taste, perhaps.
If they are just uneducated, why should they appreciate you?
An interesting point. I suppose I cannot blame them. Thou fiend! You are cruel indeed to beat a man when he is at his most vulnerable. I am here so you may help me cope with a world that has gone mad. Not so you might attack my every word.
I'm doing no such thing. All I'm doing is pointing out your reality. If we're gonna cope, we gotta be honest about the world.
And I say that you are a villain.
Wow.
I come to you in desperate need, and you respond by mocking my desperation.
Classic signs of a narcissist right here.
Why would you do this to me? Do you not know what pain I am experiencing? Do you not know that I, as an actor, feel every sling and arrow more keenly? Art thou a therapist or a murderer that you would push me so to the brink? Do you want me to commit suicide?
Why are you saying such things? Why are you going to such extremes?
I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to hurt you. I want to help everyone who comes to me.
Samuel, a moment, please.
Andy, I got a real problem here. I think I'm not cut out for this work. This fella's right. Why am I attacking him when I should be helping?
First of all, should statement. You will do what you will do, and that is all, Samuel. But look at the candles. What do you see?
The candles? Oh, they seem fine to me.
Look at the flames.
Wait a minute. They're getting higher, ain't they? What the hell's going on?
Your client is very powerful. He has his own unique skills earned through the ages. His skill in gaslighting is so intense that it affects the world around him.
Gaslighter?
He is altering reality to fit his distortions. Be watchful, Samuel. Do not let him.
How do I stop it?
Be persistent, and above all, be honest. He does not control your reality.
I await your apology, sir.
Easy, boy, easy.
What?
I shall not go easy. I shall not.
Ain't nobody gonna hurt you. There's a good vampire.
I don't know. I don't live in that country. How? I don't know.
A good vampire? What on hell?
You're safe now. Ain't nobody here to hurt you or make you feel bad.
But
I'm your buddy. That's us. We're just buddies, ain't we?
buddies? Yes. A friend. A friend. A friend who wishes to help me.
You feeling better there, compadre?
I must confess that I am. Though I scarcely understand how.
Hey, well, that's just great. I want this to be a comfortable place for you.
Yes. Yes, I do believe you. After all, your profession is in many ways similar to acting. It is no wonder that we find common ground.
Yeah, same here.
How is therapy like acting?
It is the exploration of the soul, is it not? A journey into pain and truth. We see those pains and truths and reflect them onto the cruel world.
I ain't sure I quite see it like that, but it's true that reflecting is important. Kind of funny when we can't look in a mirror, huh?
One of death's cruel ironies. Thus must we see our reflections in the mortal audience instead.
You care a lot about what the mortals think about you.
Of course I do. Why should I give a fig about what we dusty old folk think, eh? Most of us are stuck in our relative pasts, if you'll pardon the offense.
But all them folks die. You're what, 300 years old?
Don't remind me. Yes, they die, but I cannot. I must not. If I do not exist in their hearts, there is only the purgatory of oblivion.
Listen to the extremes he is using. Things seem definite for him, don't they?
Don't
Black and white
remind me.
thinking.
Yes,
You cannot, you must not. You're talking like there's only one future.
for me there is only one future, save oblivion.
Come on now, that's a little extreme.
'Tis not so. What else have I but the stage?
Well, that's a fine question. I'll tell you what, though, compadre, you are more than the stage. What if theater just didn't exist?
Perish the thought. Perish it with all due enmity. Unlike some vampires, I am not some blood-guzzling parasite who will idly sit and wait as the world turns.
That's some labeling.
You calling most of our kind parasites?
I am, for that is what we are, if we are nothing else.
All right, let's just forget the part where you're insulting other vampires, myself included. If you say that you're a parasite if you don't do something, you're gonna be scared as hell of not doing that thing.
As an immortal, I aim for loftier goals.
Can you hit those goals if you're busy being afraid of turning into a parasite?
Ah, but your humble speech does belie the true wisdom beneath. I am indeed cruel to myself.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, as I said, I have trouble with this myself, so it's... Like, I find it easiest when I think of black and white speech as, like, I am this. I'm going to be nothing but this. I am just a terrible person, or I am the greatest person to have ever existed. This person's terrible. There's no good things about them. This person's amazing. There's nothing bad about them. You know, that sort of thing. Not like this happens, and why will happen, and there's nothing I can do about it. You know.
I died for the stage, so I should live for it as well.
Should.
Well, why should you live for the stage?
What was my death worth if the stage does not matter?
But it's only you who's saying your death ain't worth something.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try to think about it like that.
But your shoulds are fatal. Ain't that a lot of pressure?
Perhaps. Though one might argue that all great actors must be forged in fire.
But is acting really the most important thing in the world?
I shall assume that you jest. Vampire society's of no use to me. We are so few, and I cannot have an adoring crowd without a crowd.
Disqualifying positive?
Vampires ain't got nothing to offer you.
Nothing they can give, no. Vampires do not understand the avant-garde.
I mean, advice might help, so we'll see.
Vampires have a lot to give. We
I'm
got
taking
time
into
to understand
consideration.
things mortals just can't. I think you're disqualifying the positive things about us vampires.
Oh, perhaps. But an understanding of the stage is not one of them. You know, I see what you are doing. The motivations of man are well known to me through my art.
And what am I doing?
You are mocking me, undermining me, causing me to doubt myself. I know thy purpose, wretch.
Oh god.
This therapy business is all a ruse. You would lay me low and claim dominion over me.
All I'm trying to do is help you, friend. Reality's a lot easier to deal with when you can accept it for what it is.
So, now you doubt my sanity? Is there no end to your japes and jabs? I shall not break. Oh, you shall see. The tides of
Do I need to
cruel
treat you like a
seas
dog
will
again?
crash upon me, but I do not wither. I know thy game, trickster. You wish to keep me in your debt. The more I doubt myself, the more you take from me. You think you are clever, but thy tongue outvenoms all the worms of the Nile. Well, what have you to say for yourself? Speak, that I might hear thy bile.
Easy there.
What?
I know you're upset and you're scared. I ain't gonna hurt you.
What? What did I do?
You want to hurt me?
Good vampire. Ain't you sweet? Yeah, it's alright.
Why does he like this?
You really don't want to hurt me? You'll keep me safe?
We're safe. Ain't no place safer than right here. We're friends. That's right. You're my buddy now. Just my pal Eddie.
In truth, I am oft left bereft of friendship.
Oh my
Our
god.
kind can be difficult.
I don't personally think Edmund here is worthy of me treating him like a dog.
You mean vampires?
No, actors. But to sense one is not alone in all the world is a feeling to be cherished.
You ain't alone, I promise you. Whatever bad stuff we're living, someone else has lived it already.
'Tis so. Many geniuses were unappreciated in their time, with wonders of their craft consigned to
What?
history's dusty pages.
Well, I'm just being honest.
Even the bard himself did struggle. There is some comfort in that.
Common nocturnality. We all got the same needs, man. Blood, safety, and sex.
Indeed. I, too, am akin to the doomed Achilles, though my sore spot lies not so low, but twixt stem and stern.
Tain't my place to comment.
What? It's not that bad.
Oh, it seems the spot is no secret to you after all.
Maybe we can talk about that some more in your next session. I think you did pretty dang well today.
Yes. Yes, I suppose I did.
Whatever I
I
said
am
was
rather
not that
good at
bad.
therapy, aren't I?
If you're here and wanting to get better, yeah, I'd say that makes you pretty good at therapy.
Well, one mustn't rest on one's laurels, must one?
That's right, Eddie. Okay, I'll see you in a few weeks then.
Aye, we shall vanquish my demons together. I cannot tarry. The stage awaits.
Dang, what the hell was that?
True.
One of the darker malignancies of the mind, dear Samuel.
If I wanted to be taking it out of context, there are much worse things I could say than that, but I don't know, I'm still sick. I think I'm good.
You sure I'm up to this?
I don't have the energy.
You were masterful, Samuel. You were able to take your knowledge about cognitive distortions and turn their definitions outward.
Hello.
And we must speak about this equine ability of yours in your next session.
Oh, that. Yeah, I learned a lot about myself through my horse.
Save it for our next session. Rest, Samuel. You have faced a great danger. Now it is time to drink and be merry with the Goths.
Oh, not sure I'd call them merry, but they know how to cut loose. All right, Andy, I'll see you later.
Good night, Samuel. Rest in peace.
Oh, Jesus. This one's worse. to his
Well,
son
that was
a
one
tiny
of the
bit.
weirdest experiences of my life. I probably want to forget that. I should go talk to Crimson.
If it isn't Sammy the Kid, plop that butt down. Got a shot prepared for you.
Yeah, it's...
Well, thanks, Crimson. What is that? A Bloody Mary?
No, a Bloody Steve.
Of course it is. How's the crowd tonight?
You know, it's funny. They're a little on the weird side tonight. Must be a full moon out.
Oh, you ain't kidding. I just had my first therapy session with the strangest fella I ever met. The actor type. Used to be an international celebrity back when I was alive. Seems like fame's a nasty drug.
Like Andy says, people are people. Doesn't matter what era they're from. Feeling good about your session, though?
No.
You know what gaslighting is, right? Well, this guy is so good at it, he almost burned the building down. Anytime I challenged him, he got all defensive. I mean, heck, ain't that my job?
Sounds to me like he was afraid. Old folks never did like getting challenged.
Yeah, they don't.
He's just a few years older than I am.
I know. You're old. And I know you've got your old fears. I saw your face when I told you about the kink room.
Well, touche. I'll give me a break, though. I've been in Europe for only a month. Well, here's to change, then.
To change?
You, drinking Andy's blood there?
Andy's? Nuh-uh. This is a plain old mortal drink. You think anyone would want to drink that man's blood from a bottle when they can get it straight from the source?
I suppose they wouldn't.
I'm not proud to drink blood, Sam. Wouldn't be doing it out here.
I mean, he's not a licensed therapist, so he doesn't need to.
I didn't mean to cause offense, ma'am.
Not your fault. I guess I shouldn't be offended.
Who's telling you that you shouldn't be offended, Crimson? I know this blood drinking stuff is complicated.
Damn right it is. Look, I have customers to deal with, but let me give you some advice, Buffalo Bill. No therapy
sorry.
here. What happens at Immortal happens with consent. Got it?
All right, that's fair, and my sincere apologies. It won't happen again.
That's right.
Oh, dang it. I've gone and made myself unwelcome. I better get out of Crimson's way.
You.
Me.
Huh? Do I know you?
I know you. I've been watching you, vampire.
All right, you got me. Pretty sure I'm supposed to be keeping this stuff a secret, though.
Not in here. But you wouldn't be able to keep the secret from me anyway. My name is Panoptibella.
Nice eyeballs.
It means I see all, and I am beautiful. I saw you in the kink room with Reinhardt and Maxi, and now I see that you are thirsty and would like to drink.
Yep, that is so.
Come, drink from my neck. I wish to see what it is like.
Okay. Oh.
Yes, I see now. That was very pleasant. You will go to your coffin now to sleep.
Well, if you wanted to cuddle.
It is normal for vampires to enter a state of torpor after consuming the blood of another. I wish you an excellent torpor, vampire.
Thanks,
Okay.
I guess. I guess I'd better get some shut-eye. This night has gone on long enough.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't like that very much.
Good evening, Samuel. I hope you are feeling well rested. I have a new client for you.
I don't know either. I mean, I guess I could kind of see it, because, like, the neck could be kind of a sensitive spot. But the thought of having someone actually biting into your neck and sucking your blood is like, ugh.
Another one? I think my caseload's starting to get a little crowded.
Worry not, my friend. I shall not unload all the world's cares onto you. I know how strongly this next client requires aid. She is a great deal older than most of the clients you've seen, and sometimes it is harder for the elderly to see reality. It took me far too long to do so.
She's as old as you are?
Not nearly. Thus, she should be more ready for change than I was. Take a look at her intake form.
Med 1804. Female, Bronze Age. An elder vampire like myself, Betty has lived mostly alone for the past 2 millennia. She grew up around wanton violence between Irish clan warlords, and has since kept distance between herself and mortals. She now spends more of her time online, where she's becoming a streaming celebrity. I do not know what this means, but perhaps a younger vampire might. She has expressed frustration at the increasing demands of her followers. Suggestion: be patient with the elderly. Oh god. Okay. I mean, it would hope. I'm going to have to conversate with a Twitch streamer. Alright.
Dang, she died young. Makes me wonder why I waited so long to kick the bucket. Could have left a nicer looking corpse.
Alas, death does not often allow us to have much choice in the matter.
Says here she doesn't leave home unless she has to.
Indeed, it is a puzzle, as elder vampires can often be.
I sure do hope I can help her.
You will do your best, I know. Let me allow you some privacy. She comes.
Hello?
I don't think that's been explained yet. Also, hi.
Hey there, how do I say your name? Is it, Medbub? Medb?
Mev is my real name. Medby's just my screen name. You can call me Medi if you like.
Oh, mighty fine meeting you, Medi. I'm Sam.
Is that all you are?
I couldn't rightly say. I ain't no more or less than Sam.
You're cute, strange cowboy man.
I don't know that you should be calling your potential therapist cute, miss.
She looks like an e-girl.
Not in a touching bodies way. I mean, you're more like a rabbit or a mouse. Oh, I want to dress you up in a little mouse onesie and watch you scurry about.
Oh, she's one of those types.
You can keep your hat on and be a little cowboy mouse. Oh, I like that very much. I'd keep you in a little cage and give you lots of cheese and, of course, a wheel to run on. You can be my whiskery little pet.
Okay.
What is the matter, Samuel?
I think I'm out of my depth here, Chief. I ain't keen to be anyone's pet.
Older vampires such as myself can sometimes be uncomfortable to be around. I believe this will be an excellent challenge in setting boundaries, Samuel. Explain to her your boundaries. You will be modeling positive behavior and saving yourself a little trouble.
Yeah, just a little.
All the more reason to be clear and polite right now. Good luck, Samuel. I know you can do it.
Do you guys like this stuff?
You look distracted, little mouse. Have you smelt a bit of cheese? Did your whiskers twitch?
Boundaries and consent. Yeah.
All right, miss, before we keep going, I think we need to set a few boundaries.
I don't want to wear a onesie.
First of all, I ain't gonna wear no onesie. I don't think I could find one that'd fit.
I could sew one for you. I would make the neck hole really big so that your funny hat would fit right through it.
Yeah, boundaries are good. Boundaries are very, very good.
Okay, well maybe I wasn't being clear. I don't want to wear a onesie.
But it would make me happy.
I see. I see.
Well, it wouldn't make me happy, miss.
Fine. But I don't like it.
I don't eat cheese, you know that. We only drink blood anyway. Mortal food doesn't exactly agree with us.
I gotta set my boundaries.
But a mouse who doesn't eat cheese is hardly a mouse.
God.
But I'm not a mouse.
Then why do you have twitchy whiskers?
I just like the way they look.
So do I. That's why I think you should eat some cheese.
Well, I ain't gonna. Take it or leave it.
You're very mean for a mouse.
I don't want to live in a cage.
This stuff about putting me in a cage and making me your pet are things you should be doing with a blood partner. Besides, I make the rules about my own body. If I don't want something, you gotta respect it or find a new therapist.
You don't want me to do things to your body?
You cut that out. I'm serious now.
Very well. Be that way.
Yeah, I think she needs to learn to be okay with people's boundaries.
I think that about covers it.
Very well. It's a little boring. People usually let me do what I want to do to them.
Well, this is less boring then. It's something new.
I suppose you're right. It's very clever, strange cowboy man. May I still call you a mouse from time to time, though?
If it'll make you feel comfortable, I guess it ain't hurting me. But let's get to you and why you're here. Now, it said on your intake form that...
It's okay, she's not doing any of this to you. You're overworked?
You're overworked, it said. You're not my first client with that problem. What line of work are you in?
I play video games.
Video games? Like Star Invaders?
No, silly. More like Overcharged 2 and Pension Impact. More of an FPS and RPG girl.
Oh, very basic. Okay.
I don't know what them things are. I kind of figured video games were just a fad, like collecting ferns was in my time.
Video games are lots of fun. There's even one where you get to play a cowboy and kill bunches and bunches of people. Then you get to pretend you feel bad about it. But after that, you kill even more people.
I wonder how she is as a streamer, like what her personality is.
Shucks, that there might give me some flashbacks. But you're working by playing video games? How's that?
I stream on Glitch. I have millions and millions of followers there.
Wait just a gosh darn minute. People are paying to watch you pee?
What?
Of course not. That sort of thing would be on my Only Zealots page. If I could pee. Which I can't, because I'm a vampire.
Alright, you gotta walk me through this.
What's streaming if it ain't peeing?
What's streaming mean if it ain't peeing?
Streaming means to share your computer screen to the internet.
Like watching the cinema, only instead of people shooting each other, it's you answering emails?
Sort of. Mostly people just like to watch people shooting other people. Only it's little computer people that only look like people.
Clear as mud. I got some more questions about them funny things you mentioned, though.
What's Only Zealots?
What's Only Zealots?
That's a very special website where my very special followers get to see me do naughty things for money.
You've been around a long while. Do you need money?
No, of course not. But I do like having mortal blood bags who will do anything for me. They're very useful.
Oh.
This whole thing makes me feel old.
Okay.
But you're only a baby vampire, strange cowboy man. I'm glad you're not the kind of baby who poops and pees, though. That's quite icky.
Considering the OnlyFans page, I don't think she's a VTuber.
I had some more questions.
What's all this FPS and RPG stuff?
What's all this RPG and FPS stuff?
Role-playing games and first-person shooters.
Kinda dark to be playing games about the first person you ever shot. That ain't a good moment.
You're extra silly. It's a video game with a first-person perspective. It only looks as though you're shooting someone. I like the ones where there's lots and lots of blood. I end up feeling quite hungry.
Well, they still using corn syrup to look like blood? It never looked realistic to me.
She's not that bad, I don't think so. She just has issues with boundaries.
They don't use corn syrup
I
in
think she
video
can win.
games. You're very funny.
I'm glad I'm funny, I guess. Let me ask you something else about these video games. Alright, I think I understand a little better. You're working pretty dang hard for all them followers. What do you need them for?
Lots of things. They pay my rent for me, they buy clothes and gifts for me. They dispose of all the bodies. And they let me kill them too. They're all so eager to die. Poor little lambs.
I mean, it's something to have like people paying your rent and stuff for you. Don't kill them.
They're like servants?
Servants, little sheep, whatever you'd like to call them.
And they're willing to just up and die for you?
Oh, naturally. Sometimes all I have to do is smile for them. They find it enchanting. And they quite like my breasts and vulva.
Okay, I'm good.
Oh,
You don't need to say that.
Does it make you uncomfortable to hear me say breasts and vulva?
I reckon I just wasn't expecting that level of candidness.
Breasts, vulva.
Hey, come on now.
Oh, but it's so much fun to watch your little whiskers twitch.
Okay. Well, so hi. Welcome.
So, these followers of yours do a lot of work for you, huh?
But I have almost 100 million little sheep. It's rather difficult to manage them all and keep them happy.
Why do you need to keep so many servants happy?
I need my sheep. If I don't have them, I'll have nothing.
I think that's black and white thinking.
Is it really true that if you don't have your followers, you won't have anything? Ain't you got other stuff you're interested in?
No, she's just flirting. It's not that bad. And none of what she said was talking about turning him into a pet. So she's still somewhat respecting his boundaries.
Suppose I enjoy reading and video games. And I can do those things alone. There's also playing games with my body.
Okay.
Oh, yep, there's that.
Bro. I mean, yeah, it is. If I was the therapist, I would be much more clear about my own boundaries, but Sam here is not doing that.
Which Americans don't do. You like to shoot people instead. Bang, pow, ugh.
That ain't always true. But let's get back to what you were saying.
If I don't make them all happy, they'll turn against me.
I think that's also black and white thinking.
That's some pretty extreme thinking. Your followers can't all be that fickle. The idea that you can make everyone happy is something that ain't in anyone's power. And assuming you have no control and they'll all turn against you ain't true either.
That is true, I suppose. I can do things you couldn't dream of. But I won't show them to you because you're an American.
Yeah, for sure. I just think, like, yeah, as a therapist, you're supposed to be expected to have to help people who have issues with stuff like that.
That is much appreciated, miss. And now about the stuff you were saying.
All I'll be is the lonely, crazy girl with a flat full of stinky corpses.
I think that's labeling.
Let's ease off them labeling terms. Don't go calling yourself crazy.
But I am crazy. And I know how strange I sound to these short-lived creatures.
I reckon I might sound the same if I were around as long as you and seen some of the stuff you've seen. Besides, crazy ain't got any kind of real meaning. What's sane? You've been around a while, you know them definitions change all the time.
I suppose that's true. Don't think any of us are really sane.
I think that's a heck of a lot closer to the truth.
I just want to look at my body parts anyway. Don't have much else to share, it seems.
I think... disqualifying the positive?
Come on now, you've been around for nearly 2,000 years. How in the heck could you have nothing to offer? I'm sure you could tell me all sorts of things about history and the places you've been to and the things you've done.
If I talk about things I like, my followers abandon me. Fickle little bloodbags. They always like it when I show off, though.
It sounds like you need better followers. Yeah, for sure. If her followers or fans are all like that, she needs different types of followers.
That's a problem with your followers, not you. Don't go disqualifying the positive things about yourself just because they don't see them.
Fair.
You're very kind, Manling. If you were one of my followers, I might even let you live.
A very kind gesture, miss.
I can't help but think, though, I should make my little sheep happy. After all, they are willing to die for me.
I think that's a should statement.
You say you should keep your followers happy. Do you like it when they're happy?
Just because I kill my bloodbags doesn't mean I wish to be cruel. After all, they're so cute when they die with smiles on their precious little faces.
I'm glad to hear that, but here's the thing. When you say you should make them happy, you turn it into a responsibility. If you got 100 million people you should please, that's pressure you don't need. Get what I'm saying?
You are too sweet, little mouse. Like a sugar mouse. Someone might try to eat you.
Heck, they already did. How do you think I turned into a vampire?
Oh.
You make me seem very silly for worrying so much about my blood bags. I'm not a very good vampire, am I?
Well, what's a good vampire supposed to do?
Oh yeah, now you're considering it?
My blood father used to tell me that we were supposed to be gods. Told me that we would rule all humanity. I imagine he'd be ever so disappointed in me.
Well, blood parents are always complicated. They like continuing their legacies, but people ain't too good at being anything but themselves.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I wish someone would tell him that. He's a very bad listener.
Well, you should be proud of yourself for getting away from him. I know it ain't easy.
I didn't leave
I think
him.
she just
The druid
has
sealed him
issues.
away long ago. He'll slaughter us all when he escapes. And there will be nothing we can do. Oh, it's gonna be ever so much blood.
Control fallacy?
I think we can handle
Maybe?
a vampire. There's a lot more of us now, and I bet the bastard ain't even heard of a gun.
You don't understand. He's a wizard.
Well, last I heard, wizards ain't bulletproof. Let's give ourselves a little credit. I ain't gonna worry too much about this fella. Besides, if he is coming back to kill us all, we only got so much time to enjoy, right? These dang followers of yours have got you stuck at home, though.
It's better this way. It's not safe outside.
Well, why do you say that?
Because there are bad people out there. They've tried to burn me, touch me, enslave me. They are cruel and horrible.
I think that's black and white thinking, maybe?
I know you've been through some tough times, Mitty, and you got a hell of a lot of reasons to think people are all awful. But those experiences ain't the be-all and end-all. There's a lot of bad, a lot of good, and even more in between.
Yeah.
Maybe. But it's safer to assume that it's all bad. Mortals are very afraid, and when mortals are afraid, they are quite cruel.
That's more of that all-or-nothing thinking. There's billions of people out there now, and more differences between each and every one of them than you'd expect.
But I don't need to endanger myself anymore. I have my sheep.
I'm sure we'll get to talking about them real soon.
We could talk about them now. They help me stay in my flat. If I stay in one place, I have power. Instead of them burning me, I can burn them. And touch them and enslave them.
Control fallacy, I think.
With all due respect, miss, you're playing with sunshine here. Life is always going to change. That's the one thing we can be sure of.
I think she has some trauma issues she needs to work through.
Your retreating from society is only going to make it harder to face the changes ahead.
Such as when the machines arrived.
What machines are you talking about?
The ones in the factories. The ones who made me leave the bog. Did not like that very much. Not at all.
Oh, look, I didn't want to upset you. You're here to handle the world a little better, and that means being honest about what might happen. That makes sense?
Yes. The machines keep getting stronger. I should be ready for them.
All right. Well, let's keep talking.
They used to call me Calich Namona, the Witch of the Bogs. I like it that way. I like it when they think I'm a monster.
Labeling.
Hold on a sec, Mitty. I get that there's safety in people thinking you're some kind of monster. But what I can't abide is you calling yourself one. Names have power. You know what they used to call me?
Fuzzy McWhiskers. Scaly Tail Sam. Ooh, Scurrying Sam.
They called me Slaughtering Sam. And as you might imagine, I didn't earn many friends with that name.
That's not very cute at all.
No, it ain't. I didn't feel cute neither. I felt like an evil bastard. And that ain't a good
I think
feeling.
she probably has like contacts in to make her eyes look like that. Like the pink one at least.
I didn't say I liked being a monster. It just makes me feel safe.
Then let's find a way to help you feel safe without calling yourself a monster then, huh? But keep going.
If I want to be safe, I should show them what a monster I really am from the safety of my lair.
Should?
Well, why should you show them what a monster you are?
So that they'll know to stay away, of course.
And is that the only way people will stay away?
It's the way I know. I used to put severed heads outside my cottage, but the policemen don't like that very much.
So what if I said you should protect yourself by putting severed heads outside your place again?
I'd say you should learn otherwise. The police can be very mean.
That's what I mean. Should doesn't allow a lot of wiggle room. It might seem like it's just words, but them words can lock us up tighter in a bank vault. But let's keep talking.
Living alone is the life I know, anyway. Well, I've known for millennia. I can't survive in society now.
Black and white thinking? No.
We ancient vampires are very few. I can tell you with some certainty that your client is very good.
Living alone is the life I know, anyway. Well, I've known for millennia.
Disqualifying positive?
You know, you're what, some 1,800 years old? You're older than any government on Earth. You've seen the world change in ways none of us could dream of. Hell, you basically won the internet, and I can barely open up my Vmail program. You're way more capable than you're giving yourself credit for.
I suppose that's true. But I'm not very good with real-life people. Unless I'm eating them.
You're still disqualifying the positive by canceling out all them skills you got. You can use all that modern lingo I've barely even heard of. You dab, fam?
Oh, ew, come on.
That was ages ago.
See what I'm saying?
You are very clever, sweetling. It is easy to forget how small and weak mortals are. But the world is a big place full of things that might try to hurt me.
Well, before you face the world, why don't we start with your neighborhood? Let's start slow. Take a walk around your block, 15 minutes a day. Just spend a little time outside looking at the moon.
I suppose if anyone tries to hurt me, I should be able to kill them or enslave them. Very well, strange cowboy man. If anyone does kill me, I'll simply become a ghost. Then I can whisk myself up your bottom with a little ghost needle and poke at your guts.
I don't think it'll come to that. Just spend some time outside and see how you feel, and we'll talk again in a month. Sound good?
Very well. I suppose my followers outside must be eager to carry my coffin home. I promised I would eat them when we got there, so shouldn't keep them waiting. Farewell then, little mouse.
Hoo-wee!
Oh, that's a lot.
Well done, my friend. You seem a little out of sorts. Are you quite all right?
I feel like she's a very traumatized young lady.
She was something else.
She needs some help.
Like so many of our kind, she simply struggles to adjust to a constantly changing world. I think you will be of great help to her. She clearly likes you.
That's what I'm afraid of.
You are under my protection while you are here, Samuel. I guarantee no ghosts will travel up your posterior. You have done excellent work tonight. Please, relax downstairs. Summer will be here before we know it, and the nights shall become short once again. Rest in peace, my friend.
Oh god.
Tarnation. I'm glad the kids here aren't glued to their little TVs. I wonder why that is. I'll bet Crimson knows.
Giddy up, little doggy.
I ain't heard that one in a while.
Truth is, I'm running out of cowboy terms. What can I get you, handsome?
How about a kind ear for my troubles?
You got a real old school way of seeing bartenders. But in this case, you're right. I am a good listener. Lay it on me.
I got this new client. It makes me feel old.
250-year-old man feels old, huh?
Yeah. But seriously, I thought I understood people, but she's from another time, like. I've been around a long time, and I ain't seen nothing quite like this internet. But my client lives there.
And you think you can't help her because you don't understand the internet?
I feel like I helped her.
I reckon I can be of some aid. Just gotta figure out all this technology. My dial-up modem might not be up to today's standard.
I don't know what you said. For the most part.
Maybe you were right. You are ancient. But I'm glad you're feeling confident, cowboy. A vampire who can adapt is a mighty fine one.
Gosh.
Here's the thing, cowboy. Nobody understands the internet. I don't feel old yet, though. Still just glad to be alive, thanks to Andy's blood.
Oh, yeah?
I know you've been curious about why I've been drinking vampire blood. You don't have to pretend. I've got a rare blood cancer. Andy's blood is what's keeping me alive.
Oh, I'm real sorry.
I didn't say I was dying. I said I had cancer. Stop making that face. I'm just glad I found Andy. Don't think I was quite ready to die.
Well, I, for one, am glad you're sticking around, Crimson.
Well, thank you kindly. So what'll it be, Sam? You ain't gonna dance?
No, I ain't gonna dance.
You owe me that story one day, cowboy. Here, have a little something I whipped up for Andy. Herbal blood tea.
Huh.
No garlic, right?
No garlic.
Mighty kind of you. Maybe I'll take a nightcap. You have yourself a fine night, Crimson.
Adios, muchacho.
Ah, okay.
I think that's my last client for a while. My caseload's big enough. I'm starting to get overwhelmed. Maybe something from one of my books will inspire me. But then again, I could watch cartoons instead.
Ooh, cartoons.
I used to have a crush on Betty Boop, and I ain't ashamed.
Wait, is this an actual... Really? Who would have a crush on Betty Boop? This is actually the short, the cartoon. It's about to be public domain now? She might be. That's probably enough for now.
Well, they don't make them like they used to. I think that's enough action for one night. Time I got me some shut-eye. Good night, son.
A fine evening to you, Samuel. How are you feeling tonight?
Not bad, not bad. A little overwhelmed, but I guess I kind of have a lot going on these days.
Getting safe.
Indeed you do. The mind is an easy place to get lost in, is it not?
You ain't kidding. Keeping all them cognitive distortions in my head and sorting through all my clients' problems ain't easy.
We are not machines, Samuel. I believe you will find that you can never handle everything at once. There is a term the mortals use these days, multitasking. It's a kind of meta-control fallacy.
Hey, I
Even we must
multitask.
handle thoughts
How is that
one
a
at a time.
fallacy?
I guess. I just hope I can concentrate on my own therapy with all this stuff bouncing around in my noggin.
I do not expect you to be an exception to the rule, my dear fellow. Let us see whether we can clear your head. I would like to introduce you to a ritual I have learned for stilling the mind.
This some kind of ancient vampire secret? Something the old ones gave you that's been lost to time? Something mortals could never imagine?
No, it's just meditation.
Oh.
That does not make the technique any less valuable. Now then, close your eyes. I will guide you through this process. Think of a place that brings you comfort. Where is it?
I'd have to say the woods. I always liked being in nature.
Then imagine the woods and let your thoughts come to you. When you try to focus on your thoughts, you will find them difficult to catch. What you must do is simply breathe. Fill your lungs and your thoughts will slow down. Simply concentrate on your thoughts for a moment and they will clear. When they become elusive once more, simply let your breath go.
Okay.
I shall let you begin.
I ain't cut out for this therapy thing. And it sure is a tall glass of water. I miss my princess. I kinda miss farting.
What?
Focus, Sam, focus. Who's got a pretty mane? Wonder what's on Batflix. Should I hook up with Reinhardt? I'm so
What?
bad at meditating. I like blood from San Antonio, not New York City. Relax, ain't no vampire hunters here. Who's my favorite horse? Is it you?
Okay.
How are you feeling now?
Yeah, all right. Fine, really. All them thoughts just feel like thoughts.
What sorts of things came up for you?
Well, I thought about my clients. I thought about all them cognitive distortions. My horse came up a lot.
Your horse?
Yeah, Princess. She was my horse back when I was alive. I still think about her every day. I can't really stop.
I understand. I have bonded with many horses in my own life, but it sounds as though the loss of Princess was particularly fraught.
Yeah.
Would you like to start there?
Not sure I'd like it. But seeing as it's come up, maybe we should talk about what happened to her. It's got a lot to do with my old gang. I mentioned them before. Well, the Mystic Bastards was their name. They were the gang to join if you had nothing to lose, and I had nothing to lose.
That sounds like some Nosferatu thinking, my friend.
Oh, I can see that now. But it turned out I still did have something to lose. And they took that from me to prove my loyalty. They took my princess. Killed her in cold blood. And made me watch the whole thing. They made sure she saw me too.
Oh, Samuel.
Ouch.
I am so sorry.
I just stood there, watching her dying, with them big eyes looking at me like she knew I'd betrayed her. They knew what it would take to break me. And it's my fault for letting them do it.
But Samuel, these Mystic Bastards, it sounds as though these loyalty tests were a cruel, mechanical part of their indoctrination process. These are the actions of a cult. They had no special care for you or your princess.
Well, it sure as shit worked.
Yeah, it kind of sucks.
They knew where to hit me, and it's my fault for letting it happen.
What they did, Samuel, had little to do with you personally. You were vulnerable, and they took advantage. This is what cults do. But Samuel, You are exhibiting a cognitive distortion known as personalization.
Oh, more, okay.
You are attributing the mystic bastard's actions entirely to your own supposed failings. While it is natural to grieve for your horse, holding yourself solely responsible is neither fair nor accurate.
Hold on a sec, my head's hurting. I can't hold on to all them distortions all the time. Ain't personalization a lot like a control fallacy?
An astute observation, Samuel. Personalizations are often a form of control fallacy. While control fallacies often manifest as a belief that you have more control over external events than is actually the case, personalization is a more specific tendency to believe that external events are reactions to you. But let us leave control fallacies out of the picture for now. You are correct that keeping all distortions in mind at once is unrealistic. I would not interrupt your thoughts if I did not think personalization important. You are shouldering the blame for Princess's death. I can see that.
Well, if it ain't my fault, who else's is it?
The mystic bastards, of course. Let me put it into perspective for you. I will make a series of statements, and you help me identify the personalization distortion. I overslept in my coffin because I forgot to set my alarm. I bit Crimson's neck last night and missed the vein because I was distracted. It was entirely my fault.
That one?
That's the personalization. There's a million reasons why you might miss a vein. Sometimes finding the right one can be tricky.
But I admitted that I was distracted. In this case, I am clearly the cause of my accident, and it is no distortion to say so.
Oh, okay.
I guess that makes sense.
Let me continue. Batflix raised my subscription price again because they knew I would pay no matter what.
Okay, yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Well, that's the personalization. Batflix has no earthly clue who you are. They just raise their subscription prices anyway.
Just as your gang planned to isolate members from their former lives. Do you see the connection?
I guess so. I was just too stupid to see it at the
No,
time.
it's labeling.
Calling yourself stupid is what distortion?
Yeah, it's labeling. But I should have known anyway. I knew that crew was bad news. I just thought I was bad news too.
You should have known. That's another distortion of reality, Samuel.
Should.
Alright, fine. Should statement, whatever. So what the hell am I supposed to do, Andy? Say nothing's ever my fault and I don't gotta know nothing? I was responsible for getting that beautiful horse killed. She trusted me, and if I'd been someone else, she wouldn't have had to die in that awful way.
I am not asking you to lie to yourself. Far from it. And I am not suggesting that you absolve yourself of all responsibility. But what would you say if a friend came to you with the same story? Would you tell them what they should have done? Would you call them stupid? You said yourself that you joined your gang because they were the gang to join if you had nothing to lose. I do not think this is a circumstance most people choose.
Yeah, I suppose.
Remember, Samuel, we are trying to reframe our thinking by clarifying these distortions. I know it may feel as though I am picking on you, but I am not. Let us forget what you should have done to make room for a different distortion. You are drawing a direct link from your emotion to the death of your horse. This is a distortion called emotional reasoning.
Okay.
I understand the guilt you feel, Samuel, but your guilt does not act on its own. This terrible thing, it did happen, and some choices you made undoubtedly created the circumstances for it to occur. You are not blameless.
I feel like I also do a lot of emotional reasoning.
But let us restrict your blame to what you have actually done.
I'm sorry. I get awful worked up when talking about my princess. You should have seen her, Andy. She had these eyes. She looked right into my tainted soul and still loved me.
I understand, Samuel. We feel tremendous guilt when we fail an animal. When we look at reality, it is not to dismiss our burdens, but to process them fairly. I would like you to understand emotional reasoning so you can see how emotions color our thoughts. Please listen, and call me out when I am using emotional reasoning. I feel anxious. Perhaps it is the garlic naan I smell from the Indian restaurant next door. The mood in my club is somber tonight. I am sure it is a reflection of my own dark mood.
Maybe that one?
That's the emotional reasoning right there. I don't think them folk in the club know too much about how you're feeling.
Exactly. Our emotions can feel all-encompassing, and that is purely biological. We are animals, Samuel. There is a small cluster of brain tissue at the base of the cranium that tells us we are safe or that we are about to die. The complexity of our existence is at odds with our biology, but we have the logic to recognize it.
Well, if reincarnation's a thing, I think I'd rather come back as a horse.
It is indeed a boon and a curse to have human complexity of thought.
No kidding. If I were a horse, I'd know better than to join any cowboy gang, let alone the Mystic Bastards. I'd be happy with a bag of oats and a field to run around in.
Fair enough.
How did you end up with the Mystic Bastards in the first place?
Well, like I said, I didn't have much choice. Nobody would have taken me in at that point, except a hangman, maybe. I wasn't a vampire yet, so hanging didn't sound too appealing. The last job I did got my brother killed, and after that, my wife left with my daughter, and I never saw him again. Can't say I blame her. I didn't have nobody. Ain't no surprise that a vampire gang would be the only people to take me in.
Aha, so that is how you turned.
Well, that answers that question.
Yes, sir. It wasn't pleasant. Not the candlelight and writhing bodies sort of affair you see in mortal vampire stories.
Yeah.
That is terrible, Samuel. The turning is never easy. How did they find you?
That job that got my brother killed? We partnered up with one of them Mystic Bastards for it. He knew where to find me.
And he knew you were vulnerable, and that you had no place to go.
I've thought about that. Were they setting me up all along? Maybe. But whether they were or not, I really didn't have any place to go. I know when them wanted dead or alive posters go up, folk find dead easier and more fun. People saw me as outlaw scum when I was a kid, and there was no way they were going to be kinder knowing I was in a gang.
You know this for a fact. You are certain that no one would have any pity on you at all, that your only recourse was to join your gang?
I guess I don't actually know that no one but the bastards would have taken me in. Sounds like a cognitive distortion, huh?
I think you see the patterns now. It may seem like pedantry, and perhaps it is, but pedantry is the search for ultimate truth.
Spoken like a true pedant.
It comes with being terrifyingly old. You discovered the cognitive distortion before I could point it out to you. It is a cognitive distortion similar to Nosferatu thinking. So let us put that particular distortion out of our minds for now. Yes, things were grim for you, but your experiences caused you to assume that there were none who would favor you with a kind eye.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing.
You were exhibiting the cognitive distortion of overgeneralization, the idea that no mortal could accept you. This clouded truth made you vulnerable to the Mystic Bastards' approach.
Damn. Maybe you ain't wrong, huh? I should have joined the Foreign Legion or something. Dang it, should statement.
Your mind is not a cognitive distortion shooting gallery, Samuel. Cut yourself some slack. All we seek is recognition of our distortions, not perfection and not punishment. Let us test your ability to recognize overgeneralization. Then I believe we will have covered enough for tonight. Allow me to begin. Elder vampires are insufferable. They all think they know everything.
Well, that one?
Wait, ain't you an elder vampire?
I mean, yeah, I could have.
Know-it-all.
That's right, Samuel.
He could have started a new life.
Honesty, I used to be quite insufferable myself. I aspire to be more patient these days. Let me continue. It seems to me that being a werewolf is pretty rough. Vampires from Transylvania all have funny accents. I want to suck your blood. Who talks like this?
That seems like an overgeneralization, Andy. I ain't sure any of them ever sounded like that. Pretty sure they all sound American these days anyway from watching bat flicks all the time.
Correct, Samuel. I apologize for the offensive accent. It was employed only to prove a point. Well done, Samuel. Your ability to identify cognitive distortions continues to impress. But let us bring things back to you. I do not ask you to absolve yourself of the things you have done. You did not have the tools to be mindful of the thought patterns that made you vulnerable to the Mystic Bastards. I have seen mindfulness take root in you, though, Samuel. I hope this session has been helpful to you.
Yeah, I'm still sad. I'm still regretful about Princess. I think I'll always be. My not being mindful is what killed her. Every time I think about it, I just know I'm a terrible person who messes everything up. But I think the awareness helps.
It does. Then please tell me what cognitive distortion you just exemplified. Was it emotional reasoning, overgeneralization, or personalization?
All of them?
I guess it was kind of all of them.
Yeah, it sure sounds like it.
Masterful deduction, Samuel. Your sense of self-awareness is most impressive. Remember, cognitive distortions are not a cudgel to beat yourself with.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that. If we're spouting cognitive distortions all the time, ain't my clients gonna be mad at my constantly interrupting them?
You continue to impress. Yes, we cannot bully our clients with distortions. Thus, I find it is best to clear our minds and focus on a few during each session. Keeping endless distortions in mind is not easy for a therapist either, after all. I think we have done excellent work tonight, and I'm certain you've built up a thirst. I know this evening was emotionally intense. Ask Crimson for some scotch.
Drinking booze ain't exactly compatible with our biology, Andy.
By scotch, I mean Scottish blood. It's iron-rich and quite delicious. I age it in whiskey barrels.
That sounds pretty nice. I might just do that and call it an early night.
As you wish, Samuel. Rest well, and do not lasso yourself so tightly, as you say. You are deserving of love, especially from yourself.
Let's go ahead and save it again.
I'm just gonna leave before I get more embarrassed.
Very well, Samuel. Rest in peace, my friend. Samuel, greetings. You were seeing Dr. Drain again tonight, yes?
Do you think this might be a good stopping point? Oh god. I've been streaming for a little over 3 hours now, and it's almost 4:30 AM for me. So... I might stream again tomorrow, I might not. It depends on how I feel. If I do stream again tomorrow, you're good. If I do stream again tomorrow, I'm probably going to play the same game because it's pretty fun. And I also don't work at my job until fucking Tuesday, so it should be fun. Then go to bed. Yeah. Hope you have a good night. If it's late, make sure to go to bed and get some good rest. Yeah, I will see you guys later. I had fun. The game's really fun so far. Oh, it's like, don't do that. It's not good. But yeah. See ya. Have a good night.